Oh no, Wooly!
Hello.
Did you get fucking killed and taken over by a gigantic mythic hourglass?
Hello. Hi. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Are you in the sand? Are you okay, dude?
According to the braid broken hourglass rules.
Oh, is that the braid?
That's the braid logo. I am going to be okay. But the hourglass has unfortunately been smashed into a million pieces. So
yeah, this is like a Street Fighter V announcement week kind of thing.
So that's the end of that, unfortunately.
Also, like it just so happened that all that shit happened, but I also did the fucking 24-hour stream
at the same time. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, look.
So hey, Mr. Wooly Madden, my good friend and longtime businessman partner, what are you up to, man?
I had I don't know if you remember Table Lords, the old board game show, but I had an exploding hourglass intro in that intro that I was thinking, I was like, can I find a way to use that here somewhere? Can I get a
just
little
use it.
Cut to but yeah. I had a week. A couple things happened. One of which was my phone exploding.
Oh no! Now, when you say your phone exploding, do you mean you dropped it and it blew up into a million pieces?
No, that is my phone buzzing with a million messages from everybody telling me about Ava, and
so I think there's a real a barometer on this where I'm watching it live. And you can see me pull my phone out and go, right? Yeah. And then I get the message back, and the message is essentially, you were too slow. And I'm like, I'm watching it live. How much faster could I have possibly been?
I mean, no fear. Like to be fair, you did beat Min to the punch.
Who did I not beat to the punch?
You did not beat two cosplayers, I know.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
They're in there.
Well, because they were there.
They're in there.
They didn't have to worry about stream delay.
Yes. In any case, though, aside from the big segment that will be coming
is that
up,
exciting or just worrying? When your phone just goes, brr, brr, brr. It's either something like, uh-oh.
The first one is worrying, and then after that, I'm like, okay, I know what this is. Yes.
Yeah.
And so. That aside, I guess we'll dodge that for a second. I did have a week. I checked out some stuff. There's some stuff I forgot to bring up last week too, but
yeah, that happens. I'll get to the end, and then the King Charles thing will happen, and somebody will be like, "You forgot about this." I'm like, fuck.
Mm-hmm. King Charles is gone. There's just darkness now. Which
thank you.
Yes.
We could only hope.
Yeah. I got around to stuff like Goldman, for example, the Eternal Life of fucking Goldman. Played the demo.
Oh, we talked about the Goldman.
Yeah, so you played that, and then I went back and I checked out the demo as well. And just to say, the animation flex is insane, obviously. And yeah, actually, no, we did talk. Yeah, you're right.
We did. We did talk about the Goldman.
So I went back to beat it. I left off
the demo?
Towards the end. I didn't know where I was.
How long is that?
The demo, when I left off, I played it for about maybe 2 hours, and then I want to say there was another 20 minutes or 30 minutes that I just that were there. I was basically near the end, right?
Because I played it for a while, and then I stopped it, and I was like, okay, when's the demo?
So coming back to the end of the demo, unfortunately, I started to see some of the raw side, and it would have been a better demo to have left off that first time and then not returned, because it was unfortunately pretty much a miserable experience the second time around, because I finished off the puzzle I was looking at, and then you have to walk into a room and essentially put in a 4-digit code that I'm looking through the note. It says you have the code in your notes, and I was looking through the notes, and there's a couple different places where notes are, and I didn't see it. And I was like, is it just me? Does anyone else remember this? And the chat didn't either. And then I went back and around, and I went back and kind of did some loops, back to the town you hang out in, some new stuff unlocked in the town. And you got to talk to some more NPCs, which was cool. But then it started, and because I did the quest, I didn't know the demo was over, and that basically you started getting locked into these really long conversations, and then it starts focusing on the not the parent with the kid like zoomed out narrative, interesting stuff, but these zoomed in lucky ones, old man on the island, we don't know what's going on yet stuff. And and these characters are like coming in with their lore, but they're really, really like, it's kind of hitting the brakes on the game to like go through these conversations, and it felt bad.
Maybe this shouldn't have been the end of your demo.
It was kind of, I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm kind of like, I stopped putting the voice on and kind of just started going, okay, all right, yes, next line. And that the pacing kind of just like makes you hit the wall of like 4 or 5 characters that just yap at you for a while before you get to your next like little
pure platforming goodness,
ducktail platforming moment, you know. And after running around there and not having anything else to say to them, it's like, so what now? And it was awful. And then it turned out, going back to that thing, the code was in the notes in a particular journal log that was there, and I put the code in, and it's like, yeah, game, you could have just made this. Like it had one note to say you already have the code, so you know what to do. But then the code itself was not on that page where that was. It was in another place, and I was like, this is a silly way to go. So
on the, I saw somebody say this, and I totally agree. So like what you're saying is, on the indie game scale of gay or sad, this definitely leans towards sad, and then just throws a bunch of dialogue at you about it.
I guess so. Like, if those are the only 2 metrics, then it's closer to that.
Think about it.
Yeah, I guess. What are the other? But no, I mean, when you get the hospital bed, like, lore going, then it definitely goes towards sad. However, I hope that the final game does not stagger itself as brutally and have this weird feeling of, like, awesome DuckTales platforming and fucking slow it down wall of text.
Let's talk about chemo.
You know, so that aside, I also went and I took a look at Dench Attack, which I recall you had a bit of a struggle with.
I wouldn't call it a struggle. I would call it a reaction.
A complete revulsion.
I picked it up and went, ugh.
Yeah. So
cool style, cool music, cool everything. Don't want to play it ever.
Okay, so here's the thing. Dench Attack fucking rules. It landed so hard with me.
Is there like a control Bible for all these super cool Japanese hip hop games that they all have to work in a way that makes me go, ugh?
Oh, okay. The first part of your sentence, is there a control Bible for these cool Japanese hip hop games? Yes. Hi, my name's Wooly. Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
I am that control Bible.
How you doing?
I'm a living, breathing archive of this. Second, with the controls, yeah, I mean, I will say that, like, Jet Set Radio has some fucking weird shit that you were understandably repulsed by back in the day because of the way the jump and the slidiness and everything felt. I get that. I totally understand. Bomber Cyberpunk building off of that and improving it a lot, adding some more Tony Hawk to that feel and boosting and stuff. It's a much better game for sure. But there is some of that control jank. You're not wrong. Dench Attack is doing something specific, and the thing it's doing is overwhelming you with the amount of options you have because a train is on rails. So Dench Attack is basically imagine a Jet Set Radio style art style with extreme Sushi Ben, Kill la Kill kind of cool, exaggerated anime characters in Neo Tokyo, and train drifting and doing tricks with your fucking sick ass train while it multi-track drifts is like what all the cool kids are up to.
So the style, music, presentation, all that, I was like, yeah, absolutely.
But you're on rails, which means you're not free form going wherever you want. Therefore, because you're on rails, that kind of simplifies a game in a lot of cases. So to make up for it, they've made the amount of things you can do on rails excessive. And they load that all at you like in one fell swoop. The tutorial teaches you about track jumping, track drifting, like the timing of how you corner needs to be perfect. You can neutral jump or like flip in midair and then add stunts to it, and manual and all the little things you would do like with the Tony Hawk game, right? And a little bit of skate, actually, you know?
Yeah, I'd say so.
But what starts happening is the train tracks start coming at you in really aggressive ways where as if you're thinking of like a Sonic game where grinding is a part of it, but in this case, if you jump and then like you can freely drift left or right in midair and jump onto a track that doesn't exist or make the wrong, you know, like sometimes you can just jump and style off the track into the abyss. And so it makes
I did that a fair number of times.
Yes. And that's the challenge. That's where it gets hard, you know? When you beat the demo though, it also then shows you like here's a trailer, here's a training ground where you can go around and kind of get the hang of it. And here is move list 2, which is all the advanced moves, including the wall ride, the loop-de-loop, the ability to like flip and drop straight down, and like you're doing just all this shit. It's asking so much of you as you're fucking train grinding through the city, and it's so fun and awesome when it's happening, and the things that you're keeping up with are coming fast, and you know, it's like a fast rhythm game with lots of things coming at you. Once you learn the track you're on and I guess get more comfortable with like exactly where your buttons and inputs are, you can do some cool shit while styling and doing tricks, you know? Multi-track drifting is the beginning of what's possible. You know, that meme is just like, what if we took that as a starting point and then launched from there?
Is it more like a snowboard than a skateboard? Because like, it doesn't have, there's no giant human to hold the fucking train out in a Christ air.
It can be, but like it still amounts to neither, because if you're comparing it to SSX or Tony Hawk, you're both like neither of those are working because you have like you have control over your drift left or right in your free movement. This is really like rails, you know? You have control over the speed you go down that rail and how stylishly you go down that rail. But when the rail jumps off, you've got to be in the air and switching over to the right one and not fuck up those moments, you know? It's more like a really advanced Donkey Kong kart, minecart level.
I guess I can see that.
Yeah. Think of a Donkey Kong minecart section in 3D going hard and having all these branches with them, and you can fuck up in a lot of ways, but then what if you just committed to making it like, and get in there and style super hard, and then there's an invisible rail in the sky that is like a rainbow road that's a path of heaven where you can grind up with your train above the city and style extra hard, you know? It's great. It's really, really cool, and you gotta just kind of give in to what it wants to do, which is overwhelm your brain with options. Good stuff. Really looking forward to that.
I felt like the inertia on the train was just crazy. And would you use the triggers to like shoot it around?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You definitely use the triggers. There's braking, and then there's accelerating, and then there's cornering and stuff. You letting go at the right time. 100%.
I feel like Larry David right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I really wanted to like Dench Attack. Like, it bums me out that I had like a beautiful meal and you take a bite and you're like, oh.
Manita showed up in the chat and was like, it's kind of like subway surfing. And I was like, take a lap, get the fuck out. And I made him get up and take a lap. We're not. Put
Dench Attack Subway Surfers underneath us right here to help the Zoomers pay attention.
And then when I finished it, I was like, okay, Manita, you're kind of right. It is a bit more like Subway Surfers, but you didn't need to say it.
Isn't Sonic just like Subway Surfers in a bunch of those levels?
I get everything with skating on it is grinding is Subway Surfers if you really think about it.
Things are either I don't have it.
Yeah.
Don't have it.
Anyway, it's one thing when something comes in and becomes the reference point for the past and the future, and that is rightfully upsetting. But it's another when it's also the thing that is partially responsible for destroying the attention spans of the youths
No,
and
that's a
the
symptom,
adults.
man. That's a symptom for sure.
Just cutting
Like
up the soap.
The Zoomer kids multi-screening at 3 years old. Like, Subway Surfers filled the void. It didn't create it.
To be fair, the people I know taking the most damage to attention span from all that stuff are actually people my age.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, I remember what it was like when this wasn't at all a part of my life, and now I can tell that I'm not as patient anymore watching or paying attention to things, versus those who were molded in it. Anyway.
For me, I'm a little less patient because I'm going to die soon.
Okay,
so, I'm halfway through. I don't want to fucking waste any of my time on some fucking prelude to the point.
Fun fact, being impatient is going to make you die even sooner. As it cranks.
True, even?
It depends on how much stress you're cranking, or is your cortisol spiking? If your cortisol is spiking, then
good cortisol too.
I don't know, but I do know that the solution is in a hammer. You okay over there?
Don't hit yourself with a fucking hammer.
You okay?
I got the fucking cable put under the chair again.
Okay.
I'm old manning the fucking thing. Oh man, I've been enjoying saying I'm 40. What the fuck? I'm 40. I can't figure it out.
All right, hold on. Let me continue feathering everybody's balls because we didn't talk about FF14 yet. I played Neverway, and
Neverway is something cool.
There's some cool stuff there. I think it takes a while to kind of get its vibe. Its vibe is immediate. It takes a minute before the game starts to be clear about what you're going to be doing here. But it kind of does it.
Well, you see, Wooly, it's an indie game. And in Neverway, you're sad and gay.
Sad and gay. This is true.
It's right on the nexus.
It is on the packaging. So yeah, digital, depressed, cozy horror. And you get fired from your job and you go to another world, and then you get
fired from your job for just not showing up because fuck it.
And yeah,
all right,
yeah, and you meet people on the street that are unnerving for various reasons, or that you are unnerved by, and then I guess you kind of do the tutorial that's here's how the cozy farming stuff will work, but also there's combat too, and then it kind of wraps up there, So it's okay,
combat's a lot more put together than I would have expected.
Yeah, when the hyperlight begins, as you said, it starts hard. I would have liked to have seen what one day of island life looks like, though.
I also wish I could have seen one day of island life.
So they did kind of. I mean, maybe that was part of the intended blue ball effect, but I felt I don't know if I'd want to grab it immediately, because I want to see what the day-to-day of the thing actually looks like, which you were not given in that demo.
Because every one of those games has a very specific rhythm, and it's nearly always, here's 10 persimmon seeds, get out in the fucking field, clear the fucking field, plant your seeds, then go talk to everybody in town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's is that what this one's also going to be? Because that's a nice back and forth,
whereas
with just a more involved combat system.
And also, in most of these cozy games, I feel like the intro is somebody comes from a life that they're leaving behind, and then they walk on to the island, and then they're let's start over. And
it's essentially just really depressed Stardew Valley. Stardew is I hate working for Amazon. Oh, it's a cog in the machine.
Or Animal Crossing, you're pulling up into town with you're moving in or whatever, right? Yeah. But here's what if we showed you those final days of how bad your life was before you decided to come settle in the new place.
Yeah, the Stardew guy is just at a desk and just goes fuck it. You don't really feel the disastrous ennui of I don't even care to get in my pajamas.
Mm-hmm. So
fuck it, I'll just crash out my clothes.
So the Neverway, the demo showed it told me on the premise and vibe, but I don't know if the gameplay itself is going to be for me. So I got to wait for more of that when it drops. Played some more Pragmata. Mm-hmm. Got a bit further in there, and hey, guess what? That game continues to be fucking fantastic.
You know what's really funny is that I've been watching supercuts of other people streaming the game who don't have kids getting visible baby fever.
Oh yeah, that's becoming a thing. That's becoming a thing. Yeah. That it's quite interesting. So there's that happening, and there's also people getting weird about it, and I'm just like, hey, I'm experiencing shit where I'm like, oh, I remember, that's exactly what my kid's doing, actually. That's legit. Hey, Diana's doing the thing. And I mean, she's older, but still.
I saw somebody say that, oh, kids don't do that Hugh Diana thing. And I'm like, fuck you, they don't. They totally do that shit.
Yeah. I caught wind of the weirdness and looked over and went, I want nothing to do with that. People are fucking strange out there. And
far too much conversation on this here internet has been monopolized by the sub percent of complete psychotic freaks.
Sure.
Who have no connection to anything in the real world whatsoever and just do nothing but scream all day about the most awful things you've ever heard.
What I will say is this Capcom made a fucking great game, and playing further into it, it's not just the premise of like, hey, you're taking care of this little girl and you're hanging out, which is fun, but
you also shoot robots.
You shoot robots, and shooting robots is not something brand new to video games, nor is dad moding, but
I've shot a couple robots.
But they've created a new thing here where when it comes together, the gameplay loop is very fun, very simple, and as it advances, and this is what I wanted to kind of bring up today, it's really coming together. This gameplay loop is actually fucking brilliant now that a few new mechanics have been introduced that weren't there the first time around. So where we saw earlier from that first session, from the demo, you get a feel for the beginning of, the gameplay and everything. Hacking, shooting, management of encounters in small spaces, and sometimes larger spaces, but more dangerous enemies, right? Waves of flyers and missiles coming at you, etc. I talked about hacking the missiles and returning them to sender. So what the toolkit expands into after a few more hours of play is I got that down weapon, right? The bottom slot. You know how you have the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you have like shotgun laser on the left.
Big damage, you have situational, and then you have something on the down slot that I don't know what it is.
So down slot is defensive weapon.
Okay.
And the first one that you pick up is Mirage, distraction.
Oh, great.
Attack that guy over there. He's not real. Fake daddy. Right? And they get distracted by it while you can set up your play. And the brilliance of like now how some of this stuff works together is because you start to see that there's so much you can do that revolves around setting up everything coming together, and then you start unlocking there's nodes and modes, right? So the nodes are what you've seen, which allow you to do things like multi-hack, extra damage, the little yellow things that you hack through that add statuses to the result of the hack when it resolves, right? You can get things like, obviously, stagger, so that the enemy stand still, or you can add something like confuse, which makes it attack other enemies, which is especially useful when they're distracted in a group. Now they're attacking each other and you, and doing tons of damage to each other, right? So that's phenomenal. There's some synergy there that plays together. You pick up a second pistol, which is a carbine, and it has a massive recoil, and it's got like 20 bullets before it has to start recharging. However, it does very little damage, but builds up heat on your enemy. And when heat builds up, they get staggered, and you can roll up to them for a QTE. Ah,
okay.
Right? So it's a different way of stacking up damage and dealing with the threats. If you target the weak points on the enemies, it builds up heat even faster, for example.
Right.
So it's a different way to manage things.
You've now completely changed out of the stun mechanic as the hack mechanic for these guys.
You've introduced the stagger mechanic from like FF7R, for example, or FF16. You've brought stun into the game. The QTE thing, you can invest points in to have the ability to like pop that onto hacks as well, so that when they resolve, you can run up and get close and do some good damage. But where now, so all of this is kind of like your brain is learning to prioritize and deal with all these things happening at the same time, and it feels really great. Then you get modes, which is hacking mode. Can shift over to something like what I unlocked is called offensive mode, and what that does is it goes, okay, the first time you hack something, you open it up, right? You see like the machine like all shows off its weak points and it's open for crit damage. The second time you hack it right away, it does way more damage, and that any shooting you do while you are hacking the damage gets amplified during the hacking process. So if you hack the first time, it gets opened up, and then you start shooting it, you're doing some damage to the enemies. If you start hacking a second time while Diana's doing it, it starts to build up essentially gray life, which you then resolve a second time for a huge damage cash out. And so you're going, save your shooting for when that second hack is happening.
Right, okay.
But when you shoot, you run out of bullets eventually, very quickly. And there's a point where you're like, I have to cool down and reload. There's nothing else to do right now. So you start to realize the optimal way to play is to put yourself all the way to the end where you're right about to resolve the hack, empty the clip, and then do it. And right, take all the damage, and then while you're reloading, you're going back to pick up things around the arena. You're planning for your next approach. You're hacking some of the. That's
interesting because it's not just like your system and then its own subsystem. You're describing a super system.
It's incredible.
Like you're doing the regular system, and then it has its own subsystem with the nodes. But no, I'm going to do this one on top of it. Not underneath it.
Everything that we were talking about where we like how the hacking and the shooting come together really like synergistically it's way better than I thought. Like as that advances to level 2, level 3, level 4, like they've super baked them into each other. And then you get a wave coming at you that's like, oh, fuck this. Diana, hack 'em, DT, pop it, right? But I've also unlocked the ability to, if you don't want to use DT as your big like explosion, you can spend that resource to instead unlock auto hacking, where and auto hacking will go like optimal path, boop, hack resolved. It'll do it.
Is that consumable or like
it spends Diana trigger? So you're using a very valuable resource to auto hack, but if
Diana, you got this.
If you have a moment where something, for example, there is an enemy that comes out that is a healer, and the healer will pick up and start healing enemies that you're not paying attention to.
Fucking archvile,
right? When that's happening, it's really annoying, obviously. However, if you can start hacking the healer during the healing process, the healing hack grid changes to become a maze like Minesweeper.
Oh.
And if you can get to the resolve point, you can do massive explosion damage to both healer and the thing being healed.
Isn't it funny that like we are 32 years on from the Archvile showing up in Doom 2, and if I have to shoot a gun, it's still the worst enemy type I can possibly encounter.
Things that heal the mob.
Things that heal or pick up dead guys off the floor. Just you fucking motherfucker. Always the priority. Always.
So waiting, in this case though, waiting for them to shooting them and killing them first makes the fight harder, because you're not doing as much damage with your normal shots than getting that explosion that I just described.
Oh man, that's real.
So now it
flips it around.
So you want to wait to do some damage to then cause the healing to begin, and then do the hacking while that healing, right? So, that's fascinating. Think about everything I just described all at the same time. in your brain trying to put the order together of what is worth your highest priority and what comes second and what comes third.
I saw you put up a video that was titled, where is it? It was something, and then the last word was disengage.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I was like, that's not something you usually talk about in shooting encounters.
Yeah.
Full-on action game is, you got to fucking bail for a second.
Okay, the first exam, prioritize, disengage, survive. That's what it was. Yes, 100%. The way that the hardest waves of Pragmata come at you, you must disengage because you have no ammo. You've used up all your shotgun and you have no resources. The only way you're going to get more is to get the shit on the ground you've been ignoring while the fight's been going on. But you have to do so while keeping in mind there's audio cues that a laser is about to come at you now. And a missile.
Does it still have like the most outrageous boss fountaining? It's just like, because I remember that first boss room has like 15 floating fucking weapons.
Not always.
Oh, yeah.
Not always. Sometimes you walk into a room that has like one or two things on the ground, and the waves you're going to deal with, you have to get the rest from the dead bodies.
Okay.
You know? So this is where managing your time, like while your bullets are reloading, I cannot stress enough how much you need to figure out how to like use that time wisely.
You know, it's funny because something I didn't really talk about during Resident Evil 9, another Capcom game, was that all the zombies in that had different behaviors, and one of which reminds me of some of the things you're talking about. There's a blind zombie that reacts to noise, and any noise causes him to go completely nuts and attack whatever made the noise. But that includes like gunfire and like broken bottles that you can throw. And people figured out that if you kite a extremely large boss close to him and throw a bottle at him, he will kill the boss in a single hit.
Oh, interesting.
Because his damage is actually like infinite for other enemies.
That's basically like clickers, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of Last of Us was that stuff like that. Interesting. Wow.
And like he's now a vital part of the speedrun.
Okay.
Because you get bottles and you use him to clear out paths for you. And like when you were describing like amping these shithead robots up so that they fight themselves for you, that's still great. I love it when enemies just do it for you.
And the rooms you get dropped in, there's shit coming at you from all sides, and sometimes you're just like, okay, you two go fight each other. I'm gonna deal with this thing over here that won't stop rolling at me, you know? You also get so last time I picked up a daddy dodge, as I described it, a last, like
with dad time,
right? Just bzz, right? Very cool. Like you dodged it like a cool guy, and you get to enjoy the reward. If you fuck that up, hey, guess what? We've got a little ukemi recovery bat within for you. So your late one where you can like basically recovery roll after getting hit on the dodge too is something else you can
dad
unlock.
Within?
The dad within. Yeah. So, I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing here, right? It's yeah.
I don't think of like a big robot spacesuit man that looks like an Isaac to go and have fucking ukemis.
Yeah.
Like, dude seems too heavy for that.
But also, this game is made by Capcom.
Yeah, it's made by Capcom.
So what do we, come on. Yeah, no, it's really fucking cool. Yeah, every new weapon I've picked up since then and every new thing I've gotten has been just like really fucking fun. I picked up a weapon that is a sticky bomb launcher. And the sticky bomb launcher makes the hacking grid, every sticky bomb you shoot makes the hacking grid shrink by an outside quadrant. So
okay.
So what is a 5x5 becomes a 4x4, becomes a 3x3 because you're shooting sticky bombs onto the enemy.
You can hack real fucking fast on a 3x3.
Well, then the first thing you fight after picking it up is this big fucking heavy that's got a giant hack grid that you're like, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So like that's the thing is they go, hey, you have the ability to do this now. fight this fucking thing. Good luck. It's been a blast, man. And yeah, this is just like getting like another second session in and watching how well they thought about this concept of shooting and hacking and bringing the two together. It's really, really well thought out. It's much better, even a few hours beyond where you left off. And
fantastic.
Fucking love it, man.
People have been asking me about Pragmata, and my answer is I will get to it after I finish a couple of things on my plate right now.
Yep.
Pragmata is right up my alley. That is definitely something I want to go back to.
Yep. Always happy to see a new IP just fucking crushing it. And hanging out with Diana in the hub, and that kid's fucking playing hide and go seek. And sometimes
I think Capcom has really engineered like a great set of escort characters, which is like, oh, Ashley, what's she gonna do? She's gonna stand like 1 foot behind me on my right side. And if I tell her to hide in the trash, she's going to hide in the trash. What's Diana going to do? She's going to just hop on my fucking back. She might as well be the same character.
We've come a long way from Emma Emmerich and Peter Puppy.
Oh, man, I forgot. For Pete's sake.
For Pete's sake. Emma Emmerich.
That fucking level is so nuts.
Emma Emmerich takes a lot of flack for being one of the worst escort missions ever designed. But real ones remember Earthworm Jim, where the whole point was to remind you how awful escort missions were.
Bro, I beat Earthworm Jim as a child, and then I recently saw it on like one of the lists of like very hard video games. I'm like, it wasn't that bad. So I went back and looked at footage of it, and I'm like, wow, I beat this game as a child. That's crazy. That game is fucked.
Batshit. It was batshit. It was really, really awful at times.
Might as well just say you beat the Lion King. No one fucking beat that game. That's a lie. But still.
Okay. So Pragmata is fantastic. And then, lastly, got to check out Strive 2.0. See what's going on with that game.
The cut down, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's so crazy in a world where we've been talking about how the Tekken patches have been upsetting the people playing, and balance has been such an issue and stuff. And here you have one of the core things that Tekken players hate is the new heat mechanic, which is making things hyper and over the top and simplifying what used to be a more complicated exchange of
they don't want it to get too far away from its brother Virtua Fighter.
And here you have Arxis basically apologizing, going, yep, we put a mechanic in the game that nobody liked and it was too strong, so we have completely taken it out and changed the whole game system to be we've pulled back on everybody and made everybody more tame.
We admit we got a little too crazy with it. Our bad.
It's the opposite of what Dragon Ball did the other day. It's the and in the process, I mean, they unfortunately gave Happy Chaos a fucking infinite, which he's banned now until they address it.
I'm sure the fact that he's banned makes some people happy.
People are chill about that. That's fine. But I just like on a personal level, I'm interested because they gave Nagoryuki a brand new move that is it's Yuki Moyoi. He slams the ground with a big blood explosion with his sword, and it's being called Credit Card. Because what it does is, and like I'm gonna get a little insight on the character stuff. Nagoryuki's system was one where he has a bunch of amazing special moves that can cancel into each other and do insane pressure and damage to the opponent. But every time you do one, it builds up a blood rage meter, and when that blood rage pops, he can basically drop his entire life bar down to 0. He kills himself by going too hard at you. Right.
I always thought of it as a guy trying to take a motorcycle turn really tight.
Going right on the edge, right?
Oh, you're going so much faster. Oh, you flipped out and you're dead.
So I obviously love his character design because he's a big fucking cool black samurai with the cool shit and all the things I love, right? Duh. But when you talk about characters design fantasy was that the right word?
You're thinking of
character fantasy, right? That's what you
character fantasy.
Character fantasy.
character fantasy, role fantasy, job fantasy, class fantasy, whatever.
Yes. This is just fucking pure. This is just nerd shit. But in lore, he is a vampire that is like a student of Slayer. And
I love Slayer. Everybody loves Slayer.
Yeah. And he's being forcefully controlled by Happy Chaos, who everybody hates. And
oh no, I hate that guy.
And he hates it too. But like the whole thing of his like the whole like keep the inner vampire blood rage shit under control. You have the ability to go. You can go as hard as Slayer, but your body and brain can't keep up. Right? I love the idea of a character that's like, you have that ability, but you've got to keep it on the line. You're not Slayer. You can't do what Slayer can do. So calm the fuck down or you're going to die, you know? And it's a fun idea of building a gameplay system around somebody who has god tier powers, but if you overdo it, they fucking gas themselves out even before you start hurting them. Right.
I also like, after like a decade of like building Slayer up as just the fucking like God's own Akuma, we have a new character who is also a vampire but has limits to his powers.
Yeah.
And Slayer's just like, well, I don't have to do any of that shit.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Slayer. I do whatever I want. I'm not even trying.
And I got Sharon blood feeding me. You think you got fucking you think you can keep up, you know? No, so he's this.
I'm reading a book and blocking here. Come on.
So it's so awesome that like his gameplay design reflects that in a really cool and smartly done way, you know? And so this move that they added, it feels like it completes the fantasy of his kit, which is when you're when you do the move, he slams the sword into the ground, all the blood explodes or whatnot, and you lock yourself wherever you are on the blood gauge. You lock yourself to like the highest or just before the end amount of blood.
Right.
And it stays there for a couple seconds and you can go nuts for a few seconds more. But then once it pops after that, you lose control. So you
better win.
So you give yourself what they call, it's a credit card, right? You're going nuts. You're doing all this irresponsible shit. It's not working. You're about to lose control. You go, no, you stop it where it is. And you're like, I just need another 3 seconds to kill you, you know? And if you can take that 3 seconds and steal it back, then you fucking win. But if not, you're cooked. And I just love the idea of putting like, you're already playing a gambling character and now you're like, lean into the gambling, become even more of an addict. Fuck it. Put your mortgage on the line, put your house on the table. You know, it's such a cool thing that I've never seen anywhere in fighting games ever. I don't know many other games that have a character that's just like all or nothing. And you complete it by going, what if you bet on black one more time? You know? What if you win this time though, right? And you're like, ooh, but I might actually win. I might actually do it. Fuck it.
There's an MMO mentality that would serve Nago well, which is the only point of life that matters is the one between 1 and 0.
That's it. Because we can come back. We can always come back. Yeah. It is
as long as you're not dead, you're still fighting.
It is the vampire fantasy here. It's really fucking cool. And on top of that, it's like, it's a great move, like just by the numbers, but it's just a fun, I love these moments of like when design and everything comes together, you know, in an awesome way. Even the fucking meaning of the name is a cool thing. That's like, because Nagoryuki is like a type of lingering snow is what the name means. And like
cool.
And the name of that move is a threatening snowfall that might or might not happen. So it's even I'm like, God damn it, guys.
Yeah, no, not
you're cooking.
But I mean,
you're cooking with this, man.
Our system works in cool characters. Like they do it for free over there.
Yeah. So that's a fun little thing going on. So yeah,
this is a fighting game company that made like 10 Gokus, and everyone went, "Yeah, I love that Goku."
And then they made another one, and everyone's like, "Yeah." Anyway, so I sat down with Test Your Luck, and we did a Strive stream, and we had a good time with it. That's going to be popping up soon. So yeah, over on Wooly versus everybody this week, we'll continue with Phoenix Wright, more Pragmata, and some 2XKO duos on Saturday. Come hang out.
I do have one thing to say about your week, which I'm glad you finally got there because I saw the thumbnail, which is like, hey, Mia, fuck off. It's weird, dude.
I have spent...
Can you quit that shit?
I spent, I think, the vast majority of Phoenix Wright 1 going, God damn it, Maya, please get out of frame. You're blocking Ghost Mia. Please bring Mia back as hard as possible, as soon as possible.
And now you're like, no.
Don't want it, please.
No,
please.
Get out of here.
Stop.
Capcom again.
Yeah. And you know what? You know it's as simple as like they had an idea with the art.
Yeah.
For like for the way the dress would fit, for the way the yukata would fit. And that was it. That was all that informed the decision, is what if we had this fan service outfit. Unfortunately, the logic of what's happening is fucking crazy. Not to mention, nobody acknowledges it while it's happening around you in the courtroom.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, in the anime, does it literally play out like this? Like, the kid sitting next to you stands up and just, like, hulks out.
Transforms into a completely different person?
Into a busty adult, and then makes, like, claims to the judge, and everyone just goes, oh, okay, and doesn't ask what the fuck just happened. And yes, apparently.
Because, like, we're all aware that prosecutors and Ace Attorney cheat.
Sure.
But, like, none of them go, yo, that motherfucker's got ghosts on the other side of the room.
And this is so weird because it's like, but there's times where the game fully acknowledges, like, no. Spirit channeling and psychics are a part of
legit
law enforcement and this world. You know?
Absolutely. 100%.
Mm-hmm. The biggest case in the first game is based on that. And then, so you're like, are we sandbagging this or are we not? And some characters are like...
weird. It's super fucking weird.
Yeah. So anyway, that continues, I guess.
Like, you have this moment where you're like, could you just tell me the fucking killer now? Please, you're a ghost.
And last time you were able to pull a fucking Epstein list out of nowhere.
Yeah, you can do all sorts of shit.
Can't you just do that again?
Phase through Karma's briefcase and just tell me what's in there? Like... Madness.
Yeah, Karma's fun. I appreciate a character going into fucking
she's great.
Whip stance cancels.
I also like that her anger is like justified in a completely consistent way that is totally unjustified.
Yeah, well, we're still discovering her angle here because we know she's the prodigy, but we don't fully know her her history,
her bullshit
beyond like, hey, I know whose kid you are. And I'm pointing out, I'm like, yeah, there's a dent in the wall behind you. Fucking stare at that shit.
But also, like, okay, I have some ghosts over here, and that's obviously against the rules, right? Hey, Judge, can you stop her from fucking whipping me?
Yeah.
This bullshit.
He's getting whipped too. He can't.
How is this? This is a farce.
Also, good excuse for us to work on our German accents. So fun stuff over there. Reggie's putting it together. Anyway, Phoenix Wright continues, as does Pragmata, and some more 2XKO when we're going to get to those local duos. Come hang out. Wooly Versus on Twitch and on YouTube.
All right, I have to take a short break. I got to feed this dog, and then we'll be back.
Burp. Hey, quick word from our sponsors.
Whom we love. Do you love them, Caboose? Of course you do.
Yes, sir. This week, the podcast is sponsored by Hero Forge. Fucking awesome. Love this one. In fact, here's how much I love it. I think I got the...
I love when we have a sponsor like Hero Forge, and you're just like, look at this cool thing!
Look! Hero Forge lets you print custom minis for your tabletop games, such as this awesome one here. Prawn Zone, shoutouts over on the subreddit, made the 3D model using Hero Forge's builder, and then I went in and had it printed, 3D printed.
Lock it a kick in there.
Yeah. And you can get them. You can get stuff as advanced as this at multiple scales. Here's the sick one with me and Reggie. I don't know if the blur is too much there.
You're standing back to back, looking cool.
Yeah. There we go. And another of just me with the little sword out. So little, just awesome miniatures, and you can even get stuff written on the bottom with each of these as well. A really nice way to spruce up and get your custom tabletop games, just exactly what you want out of them with your characters, NPCs, anything you want to design. So, yeah, it's basically like a character creator that you made that's right there in the browser. And there's just an insane amount of detail and characters and options and clothing and poses to pick from. And it's not just for 3D printing as well. If you want, you can get the downloadable model so that you can have the 3D model yourself at home. You can print out a color plastic and acrylic standee. You can have them done in bronze as well. So just a ton of options for that too. They've got the ability to print out your own D20s with like custom things on the inside. You can go in and customize exactly how you want your dice to look and choose the number, the color, regular or XL size. And if you want to get extra options as well, they've got a kit bashing service, so you can go in, add tons of extra. You can combine multiple accessories like way above the normal amount to make more complex scenes, such as the two of us doing the moment 37 there.
Such as create things I did not originally think were possible, like me or my busted little dog.
Yes, multiple characters in scenes and so on. They've also got a photo booth, a community library, and more. So, you can check out a lot of that. And the Pro subscription gives you access to a bunch of new items that drop every week early. And there's new armor, there's new weapons, there's mounts, familiars, and more. So be sure to go check them out and check out the Pro subscription too. The Pro subscription start at $3.99 a month, and there's Pro Plus subscriptions as well that you can check out. So really, really cool stuff going on here for your tabletop needs. Use code CASTLE to get 5% off all orders on physical miniatures, not combinable with other sales or promotions. And you want to visit HeroForge.com to start designing your custom miniature and dice today. Check back often. New content is added every week. And that's promo code CASTLE. Thank you, HeroForge.
Thanks, HeroForge.
The podcast this week is sponsored by Shopify. That is the go-to service that has been quintessential getting many businesses off the ground and online, helping us in particular getting the t-shirt game going, and even something as simple as if it's your first sale, if you have an idea, if you want to get something up and running and you want to start selling to people, it can be pretty complicated. But Shopify is behind a lot of like small businesses and large ones as well. So it can help you from your first to your millionth sale, whatever you're looking for. It's got your own design studio, so you can customize with tons of templates to help you build up the shop that matches your style. You've got access to award-winning support that is around 24/7 to help you if you want to get your social media campaigns going or integrate your shop into your social media. Check out where customers are scrolling or strolling. Shopify tracks all that as well. And they help with things that get pretty complicated, like international shipping or returns. All that stuff can get real dicey if you're not used to it. So let Shopify help you simplify the process as well. You can turn those what-ifs into cha-ching with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/superbeast. That's shopify.com/superbeast. Thank you, Shopify.
Thanks, Shopify.
We've got another one here. Mother's Day is coming up, and we have said it before. We'll say it again.
It's an important one. It's a big one.
It's a big one. And Aura Frames it's a slam dunk gift that is just going to show your mom the memories that you want to send over to a digital picture frame, and she can check them out whenever she wants. It's great. The Aura frame is a digital picture frame. You can have it. I've got the carver mat set up in our living room, and it's perfect for a gift. If you've got someone in your life that you want to set this up for, you can make a custom message before they get it set up at their place. And it's a digital picture frame that has unlimited storage. You can preload photos before it ships if you'd like. You can personalize with the message, as I mentioned. Get a gift box included as well. And it's really effortless and easy to get your photos, sent through the app, or you can text photos straight to the frame as well, or email them. There's a lot of ways to just, keep your loved ones up to date with what's going on. Perfect for a situation where you got like a baby or pictures, your mom wants to know what's going on. You can just send new pictures and they can wake up and see them on the picture frame. You can even show them, you can say like, hey, make this picture display today, and so that they can see one that you want to send to them, a special message, anything like that. It's really, really cool.
It's definitely better than the system I have right now, which is I send my dad a picture of the kid on the phone and he goes, looks good. And that's the entire thing I get. I'm like, okay, man.
Firm handshake. Yeah.
And then I have to wonder whether or not he even brings his phone over to show mom.
It's very cute that you can do it like this. And what's also cute is you can double tap the top of the frame and then you get a little heart on your phone that says someone liked your photo, so you can know they saw a picture they liked and put a little heart on it. So that's great. It's an amazing gift, legit. I've enjoyed having it, and I every day look at it a little bit, and same goes for the folks as well. So it's named number 1 by Wirecutter. You can save on gifts moms love by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $25 off the best-selling carver mat frame with the code SUPERBEAST. So that's auraframes.com, promo code SUPERBEAST. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you, Aura Frames.
Thanks, Aura Frames.
And this week, the podcast is sponsored by Invincible Versus.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Yeah. So I'm a fighting game fan, and I've given you my fighting game opinions, and obviously this is a hashtag sponsored one, but I have, after playing that demo, quite enjoyed what's going on with the tag system in the brutal tournament quality superhero 3v3 tag fighter, Invincible Versus. It is available you can pre-order it right now on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's going to be available April 30th. And, I do have to say that I wasn't sure what characters would be showing up from the cast, and taking a look at some of the announcements they've had. I've been looking at some of those pics. I've been waiting for Cecil, the businessman who's got the expensive tech to keep up with the superheroes.
That's by far the character I'm the most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because he's the Goggins. Not just.
No, he's cool. He is there. I was waiting for Conquest, and Conquest is in. And someone else I wasn't thinking of that I've seen got announced as well as Powerplex, the character that
the guy who you beat on, right?
Powerplex is the he can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
You're not listening. This is all your fault. Just the angst.
I mean, maybe he's got a point.
He might, but he also might not. It might also be his fault too. If you really think about it.
Just because he has a point doesn't mean that it's not also his fault.
Nonetheless, that's a fun pick too as well. So yeah, look, I love me a hyper tag fighter, and going and checking out that demo, especially seeing the fun stuff that's going on behind the folks that made Killer Instinct. I really liked what was happening with the gameplay, and I think it's super cool. You can check it out. They've got a standard edition, $49.99. Digital version with the base game and pre-order bonus, so you get 0 suit mark and 4 color variations, or you can get a physical version of the base game on Xbox 5 or PS5 with a controller layout card and exclusive keepsake cards as well. There's a digital deluxe edition that includes all standard edition items and deluxe cosmetics, tons of options and profile card badges, things you can go check out there, and a physical collectors as well you can go check out. So hey, tag fighters are cool. There's some fun stuff going on over here. Go check out Invincible Versus. Once again, that is available April 30th. And
oh my goodness, that's like
just about to happen.
That's not tomorrow, but it's very close to tomorrow.
And, you know, having just enjoyed a recent other superhero Skybound game that dropped, here's more of that. So, PlayStation, Windows, and Xbox coming to you just a day from now, if not right after that. Check them out. Thank you, Invincible Versus.
Thanks, Invincible Versus.
All right. What is Final Fantasy XIV?
Well, let's start somewhere else. With Final Fantasy XIV, you see, I actually did a 24-hour stream last week. For my birthday. I was 40, and I was like, I'm going to do a big fucking... I don't want to celebrate. I don't give a shit about that. Fuck it. You know what? Let's just stream. Let's just stream a bunch. And I started that with FF14. I played through patch 7.3 and 7.4.
You are not dead.
I'm not dead.
So, did the enforced rest work out?
Let's come see, come saw, you know? Got through 7.3 and 7.4. Pretty good patches. Only did the story stuff. But my overall feeling on that was like, boy, I sure hope they fucking wow me on Friday, because I am getting back in with a not insignificant time investment specifically to be accurately wowed, right? I want to have all my ducks in a row to get wowed on Friday. And that's why I said it last week on last week's podcast. I'm going to come in this week either fucking pissed or jumping for joy with little to no in between. Then I hopped on Symphony of the Night and banged out Symphony of the Night in one go. That is a great game that if you see it on somebody's best of list, the fact that it came out in the late 90s is definitely carrying it a fair deal.
How does a single...
Because as somebody who's played a lot of those Metroidvanias of the Castlevania variety, that game is great. It is not perfect.
Okay. How does a single sitting go for that game?
It really shows off how the game is divided. So everyone remembers the reverse inverted castle from Symphony of the Night and how that is just the fucking biggest deal ever until you get there and there's no movement unlock abilities. It's just more dungeon and your goal switches from, you know, traverse environment to find bosses. The inverted castle has a lot of stuff in it. It's also very poorly balanced, and the areas don't even have like the same strength enemies from one room to the next. And the cool factor of doing the whole castle upside down shows off that they really could have tried harder to make parts of that area traversable upside down.
So you were playing which version?
I'm playing the PlayStation Requiem version that has all the best stuff, except it also has a new translation, new voice acting, which people hate.
Okay. You, by that point, of course, you would have your Shoryuken that flies you to the ceiling and your bat.
Yes.
Right?
So the problem with the Shoryuken that flies you to the ceiling is that, and I know you are familiar with this problem, the input is down, up, jump. The problem is you have to do down, up, jump. You can't just bang it out like a fucking flash kick input.
Okay, tight buffer.
Now, granted, some of that unreliability in my performance of that particular move might have something to do with me getting it at like the 15-hour mark in a 24-hour stream. Maybe. But that second half of the castle. So the inverted castle, the second half, it's like a quarter of the game.
It took that long? Damn.
What do you mean?
To get...
No, I did FF14 patch 7.3 and 7.4 first.
Okay.
That took me a good 7-8.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, I did the entirety of Symphony of the Night in like 9.
Because I was like, no, you get the spells all right away. They're just hidden from you.
Yeah. And yeah, fantastic game. Kind of loses a little bit now that everybody knows about the inverted castle, right? Like, it wasn't pre-internet, but it was like pre-social media. Yeah, Symphony of the Night's fucking great. The music's incredible. But it definitely takes its place as a great game in consideration of its age. Right?
Mm-hmm. Always.
Like, you can never, ever forget that it came out in, like, 99.
Yeah, no, you play these games with Sega Saturn eyes.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Cool. And then I hopped on Shining Force 2. One of my favorite games from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
A Genesis game that I was never allowed to play on the old channel because everyone is a hater. And it was more important to keep the myth of me not having a childhood going than anything else. But fuck it. I'm old now.
Oh, you want to
I can play Shining Force 2 if I want.
You want to start complaining about grievances of myths that have to keep going?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
I'm not pointing this one in your direction.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, ceasefire. Now that I've attacked you, can we have a ceasefire, please?
Sure.
Shining Force 2 is a strategy RPG from 1994. I got it in 94 for my birthday, so it was very appropriate. It is not like Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem wishes it was like fucking Shining Force. And I got my main thing is that Fire Emblem always has like a hub, and then you always go out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have an open world. It doesn't have towns. It doesn't have you going to talk to NPCs out in a town. It doesn't have a world map. Right? That Shining Force has all that stuff, and it makes a big difference. It's just that the battles happen to take place on a grid and have the Fire Emblem cut to the action shot thing.
So Shining Force, I don't know anything about it much, except that the camera angle looks dynamic in my brain for sprites. You know?
So it has the ogre battle /
Is it Golden Sun like with when it actually?
Yeah, it's made by the same people.
Yeah, okay, it's Golden Sun like, behind the back and you go.
And it's like your grid based tactical RPG, and when you attack somebody, it goes into the dynamic camera with the parallax.
Mm-hmm.
But it also happens to be like a regular Dragon Quest RPG on top of that, and that's the mix that I complain about not being in every Fire Emblem game. Every Fire Emblem game is like, hey, here's your base, here's your academy, here's your army, whatever the fuck, go talk to the gang, now go out and do a battle. Now come back to the base, go out and do a battle. Now come back to the base, go out and do a battle. No, I want to explore world map. And I got my favorite possible emotion in this, which is looking over at people at 4:30 in the fucking morning going, oh yeah, now I get it. Now I get what he was talking about.
It's probably also important to remember, though, that you were playing this back in the day when Fire Emblem was fucking sealed from coming to America.
Yeah.
The first time anything Fire Emblem related was known here was when Roy and Marth showed up in Melee, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I saw somebody just say, oh, a unicorn Unicorn Overlord is definitely the closest thing to what I'm talking. Like, it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
So pounded out a couple hours of Shining Force.
Not that
didn't beat it. It's quite long.
Not that Unicorn Overlord level of granular combat programming, though.
Oh no, fuck no. It's
okay.
but like a map.
Mm-hmm.
Unicorn Overlord has a fucking map.
Mm-hmm.
And banged out a couple hours of Shining Force 2. And then comes the part where I have some advice for you if you ever decide to do a 24-hour fucking stream. So I set it for 10 o'clock a.m. And I was like, that's a good time to start. And I'm going to sleep in that day. Well, I happen to wake up at 7:30. If that happens to you, get the fuck down there as fast as you can and start at 8. Because you're going to be rock solid. You're going to be rock solid for about 19 and a half hours.
Okay.
And then you're going to hit 20.
Okay.
And you're going to start to it's going to start to go.
I mean, I do have to say, I've been at this gig for a couple of years now, over a decade. If I were to do one, I would have already done it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Never say never. You can do anything. I'm 40 years old. The main thing is that I started to get tired enough to start to become confused. And I'm just starting to be like you can't finish your sentences because the object of your sentence starts to just float away.
So I've seen what happens with other streamers as exhaustion and hallucinations start kicking in.
Not that much.
Yeah, well, there's a point of there's the loopy brain where we've LP'd under loopy brain before.
Absolutely.
But pushing past it to the this, why am I still doing this? Can I even be entertaining point is what
the answer is definitely.
I see. But you just need to embrace the fact that your collapse is what's entertaining.
Oh yeah. So I don't remember the last couple hours of that stream super good, right? But so there's a little, so you might see the people in the CSB chat right now keep talking about centaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So Shining Force has centaurs. They're the knight class, but they're just literally centaurs with armor. And in the back of my mind, I feel like I argued with chat for 3 hours about centaur shit.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it was 25 minutes, but but that's not how I remember it. I just remember just being consistently frustrated and old man grumpy, just stop asking me about the fucking centaurs.
Yeah, no. If you that's what I'm hour 18, I'm not going to be pleasantly impatient. I'm going to be very unpleasantly impatient with everything happening.
I started to hit. You know what's wrong with you people?
Oh boy.
Viewers.
Oh boy.
The antagonism.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time.
Okay.
Would do again. Absolutely. So if I do it again, I'm not having any caffeine for a couple of days beforehand, and the fucking show starts 10 minutes after I wake up. I'll scrounge up breakfast from the crumbs under this desk rather than because
hey man,
I was sitting there at 23 hours and 45 minutes, just nodding, just no, I can do it.
Sleep streaming is a thing. That's a thing people do.
Yeah, but that's not what that was. I had to do it. I said I was going to do it. I had to do it. I think it went pretty well. Very happy with that. So on top of that, during that 24-hour show, talked about FanFest coming up last Friday. And a lot of chit-chatting about what to expect at the Final Fantasy XIV Fan Fest. All we knew going in was that they promised it was a gigantic shape-up of the game like we have never seen since A Realm Reborn, when they completely made a completely different game.
Yep.
1.0 and 2.0 for 14 are functionally completely different entities.
But they're not rebranding it this time.
No, they're not rebranding it this time. And they're not rebuilding the client, which is what most of the work had to go into, right? So I was like, okay, let's use our big brains and make some shots. And I will fighting game analogize these to some degree, because Street Fighter has been more or less consistent for decades, right? It has a nice one-to-one transferability.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, and I told you about the 2-minute meta last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I expect them to kill that. That's not super. Oh no, there it comes. That's not super controversial.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what? I got to the point where I'm like, I have been checked out on this thing for so long. I don't even care if some of these changes are disasters.
You just need change.
I would rather that and it be different than the status quo for another 10 years. Because we're talking from August of 20... God, A Realm Reborn. We're talking about like systems that are from August of 2013. Going on straight up 13 years. That's too long for a system to be unchanged. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, what's the wildest swings they could take? That was the theme of the show, big swings. Let's see some fucking dramatic changes. I want every buff in the game to be deleted. Every single fucking ability in the entire game that says add 10% to this or decrease 10% to that, fucking gone. Replaced with what? Nothing. Okay, what else? Let's have them walk up on the stage and have a fucking, what's called an elegant tombstone of poetic in their hand. It looks like a cell phone and it's blue and red. And just snap it in half. Just like all the kinds of stupid call-outs that we would say about them fucking dragging Last Guardian into the recycling bin. Kind of nonsense.
Have the courage to go back on things that you've designed and just completely change them.
Have the courage to say, hey, this thing, burn it down. Yeah. Fuck it.
Okay. All right. Slash and burn.
So then we started the FanFest thing, which was 2 hours and not 1 hour as it usually is. Usually, what do you get? You get, hey, here's your CG trailer. It's going to show you the location, your premise. They're going to show us, like, so they have been so, like, locked in step. Okay, they're going to show us a CG trailer. Then they're going to show us 5 pieces of concept art and 5 screenshots of 5 of the 6 new zones. They're going to talk about one feature.
That precise.
When I say it was like, you could tell, you could date it. You can look at the chat. People will be like, yes, that's exactly how they do it every time. They would wear a t-shirt that would tease a job next time. You can always tell what jobs are coming because they're in a certain order. And so, for example, the order says now it's time for physical range and tank. And then they would show us an overpriced fucking chair that we could buy. And like a fucking thing off the Square Enix store that's like a $14,000 fucking statue. And they would go, hey, check us back, check us back out. Next FanFest, we'll talk about what the new class is. And that would be it. That is what we have gotten every single time going on 13 years now.
Wow. Okay.
So they showed us the CG trailer.
Okay.
And the CG trailer showed us where we're going to go. It's a place called the Fourth. If you don't understand that, don't worry about it. Not a big surprise. Very, very, very not a big surprise at all. People who've been following around could be like, yeah, I bet we're going to go to A or B. And they went to B. And then they showed off this fucking screen. And they said, we want to change the interface and we want to change how rewards go. And they fucking put up a fucking PowerPoint slide that said fighting off fatigue. And it was 1 million of those fucking tombstones. And they were said, enough of that shit. Fucking nailed it. Dead on. Elegant Tombstone of Poetics, gone. Fuck them. Get out of here.
You guessed correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
Next up, total redo of the interface. And I'll send you a screenshot. This does not look like 14. That does not look like 14 at all. That looks like a MiHoYo game.
Okay.
That looks like a mobile game for Zoomers.
Getting with the times.
Yes. And they're also going to, they'll obviously, this is a mock-up and they say blah, blah, blah. But the long and short of it is that they are going to rework the reward structure for literally every single thing in the game. And including that, it means they are moving from a daily system where you run your dailies
to a weekly
system. Which, as Dad Pat now, I'm like, they literally even said, hey, if you can't play all week, but you want to just condense all that into Saturday, Sunday, go for it. I'm like, oh, yeah? And then they said, you know what? If you missed last week, yeah, you can do last week's too. Just bang it all out in one burst. Oh, yeah?
The gray hair patch.
All right. Thank you.
That's nice.
Fucking Christ.
That's nice. Sure.
So one of the things, Wooly, is if you're a Savage Raider or if you're a casual player, you run into this issue where gearing has lockouts. You can only get so many tomes. You can only get so many items a week. And so if you want to be up to date from the start of the patch, which, for example, was yesterday, you are going to hit your dailies and whatnot, or your raids for 13 to 15 weeks. And if you miss a week, you're behind. And there's no way for you to catch up at all.
I have felt the pressure of dailies versus weeklies in things I enjoy, and dailies don't work on me because they're just too fast, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to keep
every day.
Just not going to do it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
The FOMO can go fuck itself, and that's it. It doesn't work. The weekly one is just enough of a lower commitment.
It's nicer
that you feel much,
because you're like, I have one day in a 2-week span. I can just like fuck on this,
and thus the fire is lit because it's like, oh, you want that Nero costume? Oh, you want to go get that Monster Hunter costume? You've got about a week and a half to do it
if you really wanted to.
Exactly.
You could do enough matches.
And so that actually works more effectively at pushing you because it's not so in and out 24 hours, fuck you, you know?
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I noticed, and some of my friends did as well, is they usually show off a couple screenshots of each zone, and by a couple I mean like literally one. They showed off a weirdly huge amount of screenshots this time, like more than they ever do, but they all looked like it was the same zone. So I think they're actually going for much larger areas this time around, but we didn't get any confirmation on that. Let's see what else we got. They're gonna have seasons, but the seasons are just gonna be the existing patches renamed. It's not gonna be a fucking thing. It's not a big deal. Like, they made a big deal, but it's not. It's just a naming convention. What is a big deal? So I just told you that, hey man, you're gonna grind your raid, you're gonna grind your tomes or your fucking dailies for 14 weeks to gear up your character. Well, you're only gonna gear up your one job. So this ran into a lot of problems because it's like, well, I played Dark Knight. I got every tome. I did every daily. I nailed it. I'm all the way as strong as I could possibly be today. But my friend also only leveled a tank, and I need to go on healer to go on this, and my healer's wearing rags because I didn't decide to spend that 14-week period gearing up my healer.
You commit to your main. Mm-hmm.
I got my main, right? So one of the new systems they are going for is you are going to be able to reflect your highest item level onto any other leveled job.
Oh.
The gearing process will be for one job, but that means it will be for all jobs.
That's nice. Okay.
Which really gives you a huge incentive to, like, hey, maybe you should level all the jobs to cap. Fuck it. You'll be able to play all of them. Mm-hmm. Like, actually.
As someone who hates the concept of experience.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. They were also a little unclear about they want to do what's called horizontal progression, which is more avenues to get similarly powered stuff, but they didn't go into detail. FF11 has like almost entirely horizontal progression, for example, where you hit level cap super early and you can go get gear from a wide number of places, and the gear is different, not necessarily better.
Okay.
I would personally appreciate that, but we'll see. We will see. They then went on to show off one of the new rewards that they're going to get, which is something people have been asking for years and years, and some people have made a significant amount of money illegally providing to players against TOS. No, which is action skins. So they showed off an example of 2 different animations for the Dragoon's jump. Do you want to have the jump in which you're like riding the spear down? Do you want to have the jump like the spear is dragging you along the heavens?
Is that a cosmetic purchase?
It is a cosmetic reward, it appears.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So here's a I got a screenshot here for you. of the 2 different jumps they showed off. Which is
That's cool. Nice.
There's been a lot of, abilities that no longer exist. And so people play Dark Knight are like, I missed the power slash animation. And here's your little sprinkle of like, hey, you might get that animation back and you just put it on. If you, and then as for where, who knows?
Or
right?
or I imagine like guest character, guest skin, guest weapon things, perhaps.
Yeah, it's like, well, hey, do you want a full animation replacement?
Mm-hmm.
Beat this, or like, because mounts and armor and character skins only take you so far. If you can have a job that visually does different shit than other people, it will make you feel more individualized and special, which is a huge, portion of this kind of stuff.
Someone just wrote early access is finally over. That's insanity.
I understand.
That's such a batshit thing to say.
It is a little silly, isn't it? They also said, hey, you're going to have a lot more options for character creation. They're going to add new faces. They're going to add new skin hues. They're going to add new hair colors. And then they showed off your created fucking character in the demo.
I seen it. I seen the colored dreads.
Which is ridiculous. Highly specific.
That is a green dread. I know that it'll never be Black Desert level character creation.
No,
but I know that this is also because the fidelity needs to work on everything. This thing's a PS3 game at its core, right? But there was that big change that made everything look a lot better a couple updates ago.
But it can't look that much better because it's still got to run on everybody's computer.
Exactly. Yeah. So I get it.
That's going to be coming, as well as the ability to turn off little bits and bobs like shoulder pads, belts. There's some outfits that are like, oh wow, this thing's great, except the character wears some dipshit backpack.
Oh, nice. Okay, layers.
Just toggle that backpack right on, stuff like that.
Appreciate that.
The next big one is a 3rd difficulty. So the game has had a long-standing weird scenario with how hard the fucking game is. I was talking to people on Blue Sky about this, which is the game used to be a lot harder overall. It used to be very substantially more difficult. If anybody played a dungeon called Pharos Sirius back in 2.0, people would just drop out of that dungeon when you rolled it because they're like, I don't want to do it. I can't beat the fucking first boss. And that was just the daily dungeon that you would do every single day. Since then, it's gotten easier and easier. There was your 8-man like prime content, your raid content. It's scheduled. It's split into what's called normal and savage. Savage does more damage, has more mechanics, gets better gear, right? It used to be that the normal version of encounters was somewhat insurmountable for the average player. I remember doing Alexander, Fist of the Sun, I think it was, or Father, and like the very first encounter, your average group just could not fucking do it at all. And over the years, and by over the years I mean 11 years now, the normal encounter has become a joke. It's become, we want everyone to see the fight we designed. We designed a really cool fight, and we made a bunch of really cool music, and the normal mode is there so you can get through the story. And if you want something harder, the savage mode is there for, the raid heads. They ran into a problem with this. The problem is normal. So I play regularly, but I don't have the teenager time to dedicate to raiding, right? Normal's a joke. Savage is too hard. Way too hard. Way too time intensive.
I think I was mistakenly under the impression that every raid in the game had like 10 layers of bonfire aesthetic, and that people would do runs and get better rewards with harder groups and people that needed to get better over time.
They added that concept in 4 months ago to one boss. There is one boss in the game.
Oh, that's World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
There is one boss in the game that does that, and you burn currency to make them tougher to get better rewards, and that is very obviously their little test bed for the upcoming stuff. So they've said there's going to be a third difficulty, and it's going to be in between. It's going to ideally be in the Goldilocks zone for your average dedicated non-rating player. There's a bunch of very complicated questions that go along with that. Like, what the fuck? How are you going to split these rewards? Like, what do you get?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get everything but the weapon? Do you get everything that looks good but it doesn't have as high eye level? Is the mount exclusive? Does the Savage Raid give you the animation? And so on and so forth. But that's, again, something they'll talk about next time. But thank God, a fucking third difficulty. It's been boring. It's either do the normal things a couple weeks in a row and it's a joke, or I don't have fucking time to find a static to do 3 hours, three nights a week to practice this fucking encounter for 4 months.
Did WoW do it better?
WoW does this better, yes.
Yeah.
The Mythic Dungeon equivalent is much better.
Interesting. Okay.
And then they say there'll be new types of battle content, but like, who the fuck knows what that means, right? One of the last things they did in the big keynote was data center player matching is now going to be per region. So FF14 starts, and you have your classic MMO server, and you play with the people on your server, and that's it. Servers are divided into data centers, and data centers are divided into regions. But you say, for example, me, I'm like, I joined the North American, data centers. I picked Primal, and then I picked Ultros, and that's who I played with, the people of Ultros. And then over time, they said, hey, you know what? It would make, the duty finder go a lot fucking faster if it could ping other people in your data center, so that you're picking from a pool of 12 servers worth of people queuing for this instead of one. So they added that, and it was a big technical challenge, and they did it. And then they added,
and it spits you all out on one final server.
No, what it does is that you're like, hey, I want to do this dungeon, and you queue up, and it just queues from everybody across all of your data center servers
into that instance. Yeah,
and then it throws you into the instance.
Okay.
And then they said, hey, you know what? You can visit people on other servers. You don't have to be going into a dungeon. Oh, that's nice. And they said, you know what? You can visit people on the other data centers, as long as they're from the same region. They're in North America. They're in Europe, right? And this led to a really weird problem. So it was this long-standing thing that if you wanted to RP your dick off, you went to Balmung. And if you wanted to raid your shit off, you went to Gilgamesh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, both of those are on the Aether data center, which means on Monday night, the day before reset, there are hundreds of thousands of people migrating to Aether and then getting trapped there for multiple days because the server transfer is so flooded of people trying to get back out after raid day that they get fucking stuck.
If you're an RPer on Balmung, I have to imagine that you just realize...
Oh, they moved Balmung to Crystal? Oh, weird.
I have to imagine that it's kind of like any other community where you're just kind of like, okay, we're outside, fursuit off, and you kind of know when to be in and when to be out of character based on what the gameplay is shoving you into, right?
But the main thing is that Gilgamesh is the raid server. So the Gilgamesh has 5 times the population of all other servers. But then when they added the ability to travel to data centers, hey, guess what? Now Aether has 5 times the population of the other data centers because you just want to go to Aether. So they have finally made it listen, are you in North America? You can queue with anybody. You can do a party finder with anybody in North America. You in Japan? Party finder, queue with anybody in Japan. This is also has a secret benefit, which is I play at 10 p.m. at night, Pacific. The population is much lower at 10 p.m. Pacific because that's 1 a.m. Eastern. But if I'm queuing with the entirety of North America, queue times
Every
will be
time zone.
much shorter.
Yeah.
It's also led what I assume to be a run on the housing market in various underpopulated servers, because the reason why you don't want a house on that server is because you can't do anything from that server. Oh, but wait, now you can commute to raid, essentially. It's created a weird suburban commute system.
The housing system. Right.
Yes.
Right.
The housing system that makes people go crazy.
The lottery.
Yeah. And like they added a bunch of houses, but some of the houses are where people don't want to live. But now they have added the ability to play with everybody, or rather they will. It's not going to come with the expansion. It's going to come before, which is actually fairly exciting.
Oh, okay. We don't got people patrolling the neighborhoods, do we?
Nah.
Okay.
So like I'm in my housing ward, and there's a guy up the hill whose fucking house is this bright pink fucking garish shithole. And they've been like that the whole time.
No HOA.
And every time I go back to my player house, I'm like, look at this fucking motherfucker. Fucking move. Move, man. The data center thing is genuinely one of the biggest, because it just means it's a million times easier to play with anybody that you want, which is a huge deal. What else we got? They did announce new jobs. They didn't tell us what they would. He wore a shirt that had a dead FF14 character on it with the text, "Guess who's back," as the hint for the new job. And it's so obvious that I am convinced it is some weird nonsense. This is a guy who wore a Spider-Man shirt to say, hey, Sam Raimi made Spider-Man. That means Samurai is the next job. Level fucking dipshit obfuscation.
Okay, fuck that. That's upsetting.
Right?
Yeah, right. Sure.
Like, fucking goddamn it. And then they announced that they are going to be making a completely new battle system, which was the biggest swing that I wanted, and it was even more than I expected. So they are going to be having Reborn mode, which is the game as is, named after a realm reborn. And they are going to have Evolved mode, which is going to be a completely new ideology for the combat system.
It's still DDR, right?
What's that?
It's still DDR, right?
Well, by DDR, do you mean hitting the buttons or moving your character?
I mean moving your character to the right.
Yeah, encounters aren't going to change.
Okay.
You're still going to be moving your shit around and dodging the orange AoE on the ground.
Okay.
This is about how your character will interact with the world through violence.
Okay.
They're going to have both. And in a later interview with Yoshi P, hey, why are you keeping both? He's like, do you guys remember Star Wars Galaxies? You remember how Star Wars Galaxies changed its whole combat system to be a big improvement, but the players that liked the old one just all left? We don't want to do that. If you fucking hate the new system with all of your bones,
stick with the old one.
The old system will be there. Okay. It'll have some changes, as always. It's an expansion. But like, they're not like turning it into a different beast. And then they said that the new one's a little bit stronger, though. So it's very clear what direction you're being nudged.
And people are going to...
They said, absolutely, you can play the old one. It's a little weaker.
And people are going to mix and match.
Yep.
Yeah, I have no concept for whether this means just... Like, are we talking...
It's grooves, man. It's grooves.
Sure.
From CVS2.
Mm-hmm. A character has moves, and you do the rotation regardless. However, the small intricacies of what you're doing around that stuff gets tweaked.
No. So, they brought up Street Fighter VI. This was their example.
Whoa. This is a fighting game free zone, y'all.
Yeah, I know. But this was the example they used.
Oh, hold on. Fighting games. All right.
They said, listen, you guys know about Street Fighter VI, and it had classic controls and modern controls, which simplify a lot of the inputs. This is not that. It is not about simplifying the inputs. It is about changing the classes in a genuinely completely different direction. They will function differently.
But did they give specifics?
They did. And that's when they said, by the way, later today, we're going to do a 2-hour show, and we're going to show off 4 of the evolved jobs and how they work, which is way early. Usually you have to wait till like 3 weeks before the expansion comes out and they show you like, oh, here's the new buttons you get. They're like, no, we're going to show you these new things right away, and we're going to demonstrate the functionality, and we're going to go into the design documentation behind the new ideas. So very, very exciting, though it's very obvious what they want you to use, because all new jobs going forward will only have the new version. There's only evolved on any new job, and evolved mode is, quote, a little bit stronger, end quote. So it's definitely like the direction that they want to push you.
Okay. And just in terms... anyway.
No, ask.
In terms of hard specifics, does it literally mean that the new mode has access to skills that the old doesn't? Or is it... Okay, it's literally the pool...
Like completely different skills.
Okay.
Like, I actually struggle to... Mortal Kombat with the fucking stances and MKX is probably the closest example.
Sure. Okay.
Then they said, hey, fuckheads, do you guys like Evangelion? YouTube doesn't. Get copyright stricken, bitch.
Yep. And that right around then is when it was like, okay. Bzz, bzz. And you know what? I can also piece together that, hey, if they did a Nier raid previously, and Yoko Taro was behind that, and Yoko Taro was also directing the new Eva, then...
Hey, look at that. Those guys know each other.
How's about that? One phone call, get in here. Okay.
So the new 24-man raid will be called Evangelion times Final Fantasy Ghosts of Desire. I don't know what the fuck that means, but this is my 2 biggest... Oh, they're going to kiss.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Also... For those of you at home who would like to dress up your characters, plug suits for that degenerate audience are on the menu.
Great. Yeah.
And like, you just know there's going to be a tank encounter where the tank has to physically hold back the Romuel fucking geometry beam and all sorts of good shit like that.
For everyone who messaged me, or for everyone who thought about messaging me, I guess all I say is, when you're holding out the seeds to attract the critter to come eat from your hand as the Wooly approaches, don't get too excited. Don't freak out too much. Just hold still.
Don't be shaking so hard all the seeds just fucking fall everywhere.
Just hold still
and spook them.
Flat palm and just hold the seeds out. Okay, you get too excited, you start shaking, and we're scampering out of here, back into the tree.
So it was a really interesting thing because they said, "Hey guys, I know you guys usually co-stream the thing on YouTube, but don't do it this time. We can't control YouTube's content ID system." And to me and many others, that was like, oh, there's going to be a license thing because Square Enix has the control over their own content ID system on YouTube. Wonder could it be? I expected some like second-rate Sentai piece of shit as like a fucking PvP collaboration like Garo was.
That's cool.
Or like Kamen Rider Gaim coming to FF14, something like that. I did not expect fucking Evangelion.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I don't think anybody expected that.
But I can see the through line through Yoko Taro. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see it. The only question is like, you're gonna fight Evangelions, but like the size difference is large.
Yeah, I guess that's the question: is what is the lingering effect on the game outside of having plug suit cosmetics?
Pen minion.
Okay.
Oh, the lingering effect. Bro, the Nier shit might as well exist in a fucking pocket dimension.
Sure. But like no one's walking around jumping out of their FF15 car into their fucking Unit 1.
No, that's too big.
Yeah.
It's way too big.
Yeah.
Like you know what the Nier's longest term effect on the game's lifestyle is? Is the pant item that makes your ass bigger, like 2B.
It's an actual item then. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like Yorha leggings type 2B.
Okay. So plug suits, pen, and maybe like a watermelon patch.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
And somehow, and like a housing item that's like Unit 1's head or something like that.
Also, let's be real. I know that you were just saying like you never would have imagined that. You could sooner imagine Kamen Rider fucking Zets or some shit. But Ava is a whore, and Ava is cheap, and Ava has its license.
You got a point.
You can get an Ava toothbrush. You can get a fucking Ava. Like, they are not discerning or discriminating with what that license get used with. So
you got a point.
Yeah. Ava is a cheap fucking whore.
They then went on to say, free trial expanded to include Shadowbringers. That's the best expansion they ever put out. That's the peak of the game.
That's the one
for free.
That's the one before Endwalker.
That is the one before Endwalker. That is as good as the game has ever been for free. Did you hear that the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV is now free to play, which includes there's a new one now because they have to list like 3 expansions.
Right. Yeah. That's a big incentive push for folks.
And that was today. Shadowbringers is free as of today. So if you're thinking about getting in, people at home, no better time than now and no better price than fucking free. It's hard to beat free.
It is.
Because they have to do this because they always do it 2 expansions back now. Because they can't say, hey, by the way, you want to buy fucking 8 games? Even if you don't know if you like it.
Yeah.
Come on. It's ridiculous.
And you said 7.5 is...
Today.
Is that... Okay, so you are paying for...
All right.
3 updates worth of stuff once you complete this.
So the way that it is as of now, 2.0, 2.1, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 4.1, 4.2, 3, 4, 5, and 4, 4.1, 4.2. Oh God, no, 5. It goes all the way up to 5.5. Anyway. We're currently at 7.5, and we're going to go to 8. But you're getting like 60% of the fucking game for free. And there's a couple of like limitations on free accounts. Can't make a party by yourself. Can't join a free company. Can't trade with other players.
Social stuff restricted.
Well, it's because they don't want bots to go fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right.
Like that's the main thing. They don't want free accounts to just be jerry-rigged into robots and just hassle you all day. They want the bots to at least have to pay for a goddamn service account.
And that includes offline?
What offline?
Or, sorry, single-player mode?
Oh, yeah, no, it includes trusts. So what it is you go to a dungeon, I'm a pussy. I want to play with robots. And then the robots fill in for the other party members.
Hey.
And the way that they have balanced that is that the robots do it really slow.
Well, if Shinji says, I don't like other people and I don't want to play with them, Shinji should be allowed.
That's the opposite fucking theme of Evangelion, man!
Well, you start at episode 1 before instrumentality, Pat. You start at episode 1.
Hedgehog's dilemma goes as far as Orem Vale. Or at least it used to.
Hey, you don't pay my sub.
You're not paying a sub at all! It's
free!
You don't pay my sub doesn't work for people in the free trial, because you're not paying shit. Fuck you. I have all the license in the world to tell you to fucking get good.
They put fucking single player and it made it free in the game. Do what you want.
Yeah. Then they brought the CEO out. And CEO announced a Switch 2 version coming in August.
Was he the one that did the AI?
No, that's later.
Oh, that's the translator man?
He's the fault. It's his fault they did the AI. No, it's not him.
Okay.
He's an AI bro for sure. But came out and announced the Switch 2 version, which has a complicated multi-tiered subscription structure that I don't fully understand. But fuck it. I'm going to play a lot of that fucking game on the Switch 2, goddammit. That's the perfect place for this thing. Yeah, kid, play with your blocks. Read your Curious George. Fucking grind it out.
Was it already portable?
No. This is the first one.
Oh, you can't get the client on the Steam Deck, can you?
You can, but not natively. You have to kind of dig around with the guts. It's a little bit of a jump.
Okay, yeah.
What else was I going to say about that? No need for online service, but you still have to resub at half the price. It's complicated. I fully expect to put a shit ton of hours on the Switch 2 version of this game in bed until my wife wakes back up at 2 a.m. and goes, go the fuck to bed. Stop it.
And then
they said, hey, PS4 players, you have 2 years to get a PS5. We're going to cut PS4 support.
Crossplay ends. Wow.
No, support ends. The game will not be playable in 2 years on PS4.
So crossplay is a moving circle that
yes, as it goes forward.
Moves forward, and yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo Switch and the personal computer all played together all nice, but PS4 is going to no longer be supported, just like PS3 was no longer supported. And they even gave the reason. They're like, the standard PS4 hard drive will not be big enough for the size of the game.
Okay. Yeah, right. Right.
It's not like, oh, it's going to run crazy. They're just like literally too big for the fucking hard drive.
The person who's already doing this has nothing else on their console anyway. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then the CEO said something weird. They described a story in which Yoshi P was very unhappy with the state of support given to him by the parent company, and their questions became what was described as a enthusiastic demand that FF14 get more support in the future.
What does that mean?
It means Yoshi P got fucking pissed off that all of FF14's money gets kicked into bullshit like Foam Stars.
Okay.
And said, hey, dude, you need to put up. If we're going to make the best MMO in the market, you need to fucking nut up and give us the resources we asked for.
We're holding down this whole thing and letting you do
and so the
experimental
promise is that they will get all the support they ask for. And that will be seen
okay.
So they're doubling the amount of jobs in the game. We're going from 21 to 45 because all jobs are going to have 2 versions now.
Yeah, that's multiple.
That's a lot.
That's expanding the character. I was going to say that's multiple characters is what that is, but
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, you're allowed to acknowledge your leverage. You're allowed to look at your leverage and say, "Hey, I'm the one doing this.
It's me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one funneling money into the fucking every mobile game you guys crash and burn onto the rocks."
Or every mobile game that gets fucking offlined and then has to be brought back by fans. Looking at you, Nier. We'll talk about that later.
So then they closed up the show and they said, hey, by the way, if you come back later, we usually do a dev panel. And the dev panel's usually like pretty dry, right? The dev panel's usually like, this is the kind of server infrastructure we had to deal with to fight the glamour system, shit like that. And it's like very dry.
Treehouse.
No, fuck it. We're
Treehouse Gaming after the trailer. Come back and watch us. Look at
this time was like, hey, do you want to see Paladin, Bard, White Mage, and Dragoon in the new system? And everyone went, yeah, I do. So we had a couple hour break. We came back for the battle system overview, and that's all they talked about. And they did something that I'm calling the sacrificial lamb. They got up, what's his name? Hikaru Tamaki, the new battle system director. And they're like, this guy invented the evolved battle system. He has designed every single job in the new system by himself. So if you fucking hate it, it's this guy's fault.
Smart.
And then they couldn't turn the PC on with the PowerPoint on for like 40 minutes.
Nice.
They just... So you might have seen pictures of the live letters where Yoshi P is holding up a fucking picture of a character on a piece of paper.
No.
He'll
Wait,
be like, here's
yes,
the new armor.
because that was the joke on the thumbnail last week, which was the Live Leaks logo. Yes.
So he picks up a piece of paper and he's like, this is the new armor. They do that because they always have massive technical problems doing their shows.
Okay.
So this one, the computer was dead, wouldn't power on for like 40 minutes. It was very stressful because everyone's sitting there going, I want to see the new job. And they're like, PC, don't turn on. Can Tony help us? Tony, help us. And some guy named Tony came out and, of course, hit 3 buttons and there it was fixed. So because Hikaru Tamaki is the guy who's designing everything about the new battle system, and it's all on him, and he's been there forever, but he's never been trusted with this amount of stuff, they said, all right, do you guys want to know what Mr. Tamaki-san has worked on? They go, okay. He built the following versions of the following jobs. Ninja in 2.4. Great. That's when Ninja got invented. Machinist in 3.0. That's Machinist being invented. Astro in 3.0. The best version of Astro. Samurai 4.0. The best version of Samurai. Dancer 5.0. The best version of Dancer. Reaper 6.0. The best version of Reaper. And Picto 7.0. Maybe the best class to ever be added to the game mechanically.
Is Ninja...
He is the guy that invented half of the new jobs in the game. And the ones that he made were all picture-perfect, complete sets of jobs that other developers struggled to add to later.
Is Ninja based on Shadow?
The good... What's that?
Is Ninja based on Shadow?
Yes. Of course he is.
Cool.
Then went on to go, I did... I'm going to rattle these off. He did these dungeons. He did Hawk Manor Hard, good one. Tamtara Deepcroft Hard, very good one. Somal, good. He made ARF. And then he made the boss fight called Construct 7. Do you know Worker 8 from Final Fantasy Tactics?
Nope.
The robot? Anyway. So in the Lighthouse, there's a version of him called Construct 7. And as a result, this boss fight showed off that FF14 players can't do basic math. The boss will kick your HP down to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and then put circles on the ground that are 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And he'll say stuff like, make a multiple of 5. Do a prime number.
Okay.
Guess what? People suck shit at that mechanic. They are terrible at it.
You probably shouldn't do that to people. That's don't expose people like this.
The very, very, very first day that raid came out, me and my friends did it, and we were the only ones to live through it and get all of our prime numbers correctly. 24-man raid with 16 dead, stupid, can't do math idiots and my group, and it felt awesome.
God. I would probably I probably wouldn't enjoy that.
Is 1 a prime number?
I would probably not enjoy that.
Well, as a result of the fact that he built Construct 7, the crowd has now nicknamed him Mr. Prime. And that will be his nickname on the team forever. It's a pretty good one.
If I have to do damage to the boss by looking at a square root symbol, I'm fucking tapping out. I'm out of here, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I got some for you. Going forward, he also... Let's see. Copy image. There we go. He also built... Eden's Verse Refulgence Savage, which includes a mechanic called Light Rampart, which I'm sending you a picture of. Light Rampart is the most fucked up mechanic to ever be in the game.
Doesn't help that this has Japanese on it, but...
Yeah, it doesn't. It is the meanest, most unfair, do it perfectly, you sons of bitches mechanic ever. If anyone makes even the slightest mistake, an explosion goes off that blinds the other players during the mechanic. Like, it's vindictive.
Like, are we having another woolly fuck you and your frame data moment?
A little bit.
Is this what's going on here?
Anyway, point being, they got the guy who made Light Rampart to fucking design the new jobs. He's a freak. He also plays tons of League, but we're gonna sweep that under the rug. Oh yeah, there it is. There's good old Light Rampart.
Okay. I'm going to say that there are 6 attacks or states, and the pattern of the attack in a circular arena will be...
I don't understand fucking Light Rampart.
Oh, okay.
What, you think I know how to do this?
Because no,
fuck that. I had to look this up.
I'm guessing that each of these icons refers to a class that needs to be in that location. You know, and the danger zones are the yellow highlighted circles. And
the other thing is that Light Rampart has dozens of variations in position. So you'll be running it for hours and constantly be given a new variation you have to acclimate to instantly. And the summoner walked a little bit too far to the left. Massive light explosion. Nobody else can see where they're standing, and it's a wipe. Like, it's a vindictive mechanic. It's quite cruel.
So everybody gets toxic at their teammates if they don't follow this circle
Everyone
chart.
gets toxic at the person who designed it, who was unknown up until this past week.
I see.
He also worked on the entire PvP system and the job, action, and portrait system. Yes, sir. I see a hand going up. Yes, sir. What's up?
Who is Koji Fox, and why can't he read the room?
Koji Fox is the translator, the head localizer.
Okay.
Oh, why can't he read the room? So you're referring to Koji Fox did a presentation on Sunday in which he used what may or may not have been AI-generated images that looked like shit during his PowerPoint after explaining that the CEO demands that he use these in his PowerPoint.
The CEO of Squeenix.
That's right.
That was just on stage.
Okay. The kind of like sassy gag that didn't read the room correctly, but also people didn't read that room correctly. That being said, he's a massive meme lord.
Okay.
He's the reason why every single quest in FF14 has some kind of pun in it.
I heard that everyone was laughing and enjoying and having fun, and then the audience went dead silent.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It is. So the long and short of it is they finally actually got down and they were like, hey, here's what the new fucking system is. And the easiest way to explain the new system is to show you a picture of them saying, hey, the amount of buttons you hit is cut by fucking 60%. They have trimmed 60% of the buttons in the game. They want the game to be played on 16 buttons, not 40 plus 16, which fits on the D-pad and the buttons while holding the left trigger and right trigger perfectly.
So some of these evolved spells will do multiple things that the Reborn ones did?
Exactly.
Okay.
So basically they showed off there's a tank move called Provoke, which is you point it at an enemy, you go, hey, fuckhead, no, I'm the one you're going to be fighting, right? There's also a different skill called Shirk that goes, hey, no, don't fight me, fight the other guy. And they've combined them into one button, and so it's going to do whatever the fuck it needs to do depending on if you're targeting the boss or another party member.
Okay.
There's no need for that to be 2 buttons. It's always going to do something different depending on what you aim it at. They've also said that combos that are 1, 2, 3 will just live on one button. And when you hit it, that button will turn into the next hit of the combo.
And this is all doable on gamepad, right? You don't need a keyboard.
It's the only way I play.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, the guy who built this plays on gamepad nearly exclusively.
And is there any kind of like friction between keyboard players and pad players?
No, there's a couple things that keyboard people have an easier time, and a couple things that mouse and gamepad people have an easier time. Like healers tend to have a slightly easier time on mouse and keyboard because they just take the mouse and point at the party list. And there's a couple like movement like platforming's easier on a gamepad. Like it just is because you have the analog control. Then went on to say, okay, not only is it going to be crunched down and condensed as much as we can, we are also very familiar with the 2-minute meta. And they popped up this goddamn screenshot of everything I was talking to you about last week.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, hey, we've had to design almost every boss in the game to chill out at the 125-second mark so that everybody can get their burst going. And it's really limited in encounter design, and it limits job design. So fuck it. The 2-minute meta is dead, and they have done so by removing every single buff in the game.
Oh, wow. Oh.
The most absurd change they could make, all buffs are gone. Dragoon will never buff the critical rate of the party. Dancer probably isn't going to be increasing someone's damage. The healers aren't going to be drawing cards to up skill speed. No. Everyone's going to be playing their class for them. You're not going to have to worry about lining up your fucking burst on top of the monk or whatever the fuck bullshit. They even put out a slide that's like, it's time to break free from the cycle. The tyranny of the 2-minute meta is over.
So then a tank's job is to protect the team.
Tank's job is more specifically to have the boss focus on them. Right?
Okay. But
the tank can take the hit, the DPS can't take the hit.
And healers' jobs are to heal. And
do damage when they're not healing.
But outside of that, the idea of changing the stats of your party slightly here and there is now no longer a thing.
So basically, the way that it worked is, say you had a Dragoon in the party, right? The Dragoon has a button called Battle Litany, which takes 120 seconds to come back. So it's on the 2 minutes. Battle Litany increases critical rate of everybody in the party by 15%. Well, that means everybody wants to hit every single button they got in the 15-second window the Battle Litany's going off because you get a 15% bonus. So everyone, okay, Dragoon in the party. Okay, when are you going to do Battle Litany? Okay, we're all going to do all of our biggest buttons on Battle Litany. Okay, well, the Machinist, you have one too? Okay, you make sure to hit your party-wide raid buff at the same time that he hits Battle Litany. So now everybody is just building like this perfect mathematical solution to an encounter where everybody hits all their buttons at the perfect times, and it's like a prescribed solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time you've described the final state of this game, it has always sounded solved, and then like the optimized, and thus the anger came from people who were.
Oh, Machinist doesn't have one anymore. My mistake.
The frustration came from people who did not play it in optimized or in the solved manner.
Yeah, so that used to be not so bad. It was like, it was not about optimized. It's like, hey, you know the fucking order you hit your buttons in? Maybe you should hit maybe you should hit your 1-2-3 combo in the order of 1-2-3. Maybe don't just stand there doing light punch all day.
I can see how that's not fun.
But it got way the fuck out of hand. And so now, no more of that. So by removing every single fucking buff in the game, yeah, you can trim a lot of buttons. There's a lot of buttons that ended up just being fluff for making the party stronger or whatever. And then I'm not going to go into it, but they showed off for all of them. But they showed off Paladin. They're like, Paladin's mostly the same, except Paladin now has a perfect parry. It's the tank. It's going to be taking hits. Put out your shield button, and if you get hit within 4 seconds of you doing that, you'll get a perfect parry and a riposte. because you're a tank. You have a shield. You should be a brick. Then they showed off Dragoon, and Dragoon is completely changed as a brand new class. It's now jumping constantly. And they even showed off that you will have a minor limit break as a jump that holds you in the sky for multiple seconds and turns damage to your character to almost nothing.
Yeah.
Because you're in the sky.
Well, Dragoon jump. That's what Dragoons do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragoon didn't have that.
That's silly and is betraying the character fantasy of what a Dragoon ought to be doing.
It's a very long story as to how we went from Dragoon using to have jumps and then them going, well, maybe we can do this. And then having jumps, but the jumps were just off global attacks that you just fill. They were just combo filler. Right?
I guess the idea of making someone invincible for a few turns and then doing a ton of damage and doing it again was a problem.
So they literally said they tried it with the Dragoon being invincible, but it breaks too many of the encounters.
Okay.
Like, because there's encounters where the game will pick like 2 DPS and like put tethers on them and shit like that. But if the Dragoon is like completely invincible, it will actually just break. So they put it at like 90%, right? They showed off Bard. Bard is completely different, and they showed off another like ability that's like a new type of ability, where it has a positional dodge depending on where you're moving, like a little leap and arrow shot that will activate depending on what direction you're facing. Bard doesn't have anything cool like that. And so they're showing off these types of things. They also showed off a White Mage thing where the more you heal, the bigger as you heal as White Mage, you'll build up stacks that you cash out for damage. Because they're like, you should be healing. You shouldn't just be doing White Mage damage and then healing the bare minimum. No, we want you to heal. Fucking heal. You're a White Mage. And it gives a lot of hope because there's a lot of jobs that have weird mechanics that they should have had this whole time, but they never did because it would never fit in this nice, unified, perfectly mathematically solved system. So I play Dark Knight. In most Final Fantasy games, Dark Knight cashes in health to do more damage. That would not work in the old system at all. You would just be a bad tank that dies all the time. But now they've said that Dark Knight will be a dedicated off tank. So maybe I'm going to get that. The main thing is that the guy who built this system built all the jobs in PvP. So you can go look at the way they play in PvP and go, I think they're going to do this or I think they're going to do that.
So you still have to work as a coordinated team and be in the right place and do all the right things, but it's
just you playing your class is going to be more about the way that you want to play your class instead of perfectly mathematically solving every encounter according to your team composition.
And or if I do something but I don't do enough damage because you didn't get me strong enough, I'm not going to have
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah, right.
And there's something called drift because it's you use the ability, it comes back in 120 seconds. What if you used it 3 seconds late? What if you used it 2 seconds late again? Now you've drifted all the way out and everyone's popping their shit when it sucked, dude. It's a very frustrating way to design jobs because everybody had to fit in a very specific mold. And so people,
that is also,
they watch the president.
I really feel like I zoom in many times when you talk about that like the grief that comes from people not doing their jobs properly stuff, because one of my favorite things in video games, I talk about the reason why I love Chrono Trigger so much is because the idea of double text is the sickest shit ever.
Awesome.
I love the idea of Guts and Griffith fucking X cutting Zod, right? I that moment in games is one of my favorite things ever. It's a super sick thing to encapsulate in video game fashion. So when
Paige is playing Chrono Trigger later today, by the way, over twitch.tv/Pizza Live, and she's aiming for 6:00 p.m. Pacific.
Sick.
She hasn't gotten X cut yet, though.
So when the idea of the teamwork, double tech, triple tech, whatever you want to call it, thing is not just an amazing positive flourish, but in fact becomes a negative when it's absent.
It's statistical and mandatory.
This is killing what I love about video games to hear that.
Yeah.
That is upsetting on a fundamental core level to me.
Yeah, no, there's a reason people don't like the 2-minute meta. It prescribes how to play. Now, obviously, massive fucking dorks have looked at the footage and they've mathed out, the class is probably going to play like this, right? It's going to, you'll build up this meter and you'll burst here. But I think it was Paladins at 40 seconds, Dragoons at 60 seconds, Bards at 80 seconds. They don't necessarily all line up, which means if you miss a button by a second or 2 seconds, no, just keep playing. You didn't run the whole encounter out of whack.
There's a larger folder, a larger window that you can activate it and still be okay.
Just do your best on your class. Try to do as much damage as you possibly can, as fast as you can. And then they showed off cute little things like Bard will play a song and give everybody a shield, which has not been a thing for a while. That just plays into this is how we want. Now, granted, they showed off the 4 most normalist classes for this. Right? Paladin, it's Paladin. White Mage is White Mage, right? I expect other jobs to be weirder. I expect some of them to be completely remade into completely different jobs. I think Summoner is going to get its 5th rework. Again. I think Summoner's gotten 4 or 5 so far. Scholar's going to be completely different.
Okay. I'm going to do this.
What's he going to do? Oh.
I'm going to do this.
Yes.
No.
That's the end, by the way.
Okay. All right.
That is the end.
Okay, cool. All right.
that actually is
instead of people going resting bitch face fully is not engaged, I will tell you directly, I am starting to drift.
Yeah.
As of this moment. Okay, here we are. Okay. All right.
Why use many buttons when fewer do good?
Okay.
The last thing I will say, though, Wolves, is some of these jobs have 40 plus buttons on a controller. It's a lot. It's a lot. Paladin has hold left trigger, the D-pad, and all the buttons. Hold the right trigger, D-pad, all the buttons. Right trigger, then left trigger, D-pad, all the buttons. Left trigger, right trigger, D-pad, all the buttons. And then double tap a trigger and 4 or 5 buttons. They have hit the legitimate physical limit of how many ways they can hide buttons on your controller.
So casting is basically what we wanted Hitchhiker's mod in DMC5 to be, with toggles to quick select things. Then.
Well, yeah, but now what they've done is they're just going to cut it that they all fit on the main pad. You're not going to have to hide buttons on left-right combos anymore. It's no, you can just look at it, you can see it, you can do it.
Okay, I guess I can see how that's not modern mode, but it is modern philosophy. Because you are actively doing less to achieve the same results.
Basically, they don't want to have a situation where you can't do a jumping medium kick. They just want to create a situation where the game will know if you want a jumping medium kick or a jumping hard kick because of what you're targeting.
I guess the question is, will you ever need the precision of doing a jump without a medium kick or a medium kick without a jump?
Well, what's probably going to happen is they're going to be designing encounters from Evercold onwards for the new system primarily. But that old system is there for the hyper niche uses. I'm sure some nerd on the balance is going to figure out that if you want to do ooh-woo at peak efficiency, you actually want to bring in a Reborn Dragoon and an Evolved Ninja and an Evolved Paladin and a Reborn Warrior and shit like that. But that's for the freaks that live on the balance. And those people are unwell. They are mentally unwell.
Because it is less it is less ideal to not have both your crouching light punch and your crouching light kick. However, if you're going to force one over the other, you're basically giving it's a balancing choice, right? But here you're balancing not for PvP, but for PvE. So okay, it's an interesting thing, but that's a pretty drastic change.
They're changing the way rewards roll out, the way the fucking game functions, the types of rewards you get. Like, just, it is a fucking huge change. I'm thrilled. Most people are somewhere between cautiously optimistic and absolutely ecstatic. I leveled up 16 times since FanFest.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Back the fuck in.
Wow. All right.
Also, Thursday, I'm doing 7.5. Come on down for that.
I thought you said you did 7.5.
No, I did 7.3 and 7.4.
Oh, okay.
7.5 came out today.
Okay. All right.
I like Final Fantasy. It's cool.
Get
ready for another of these in July.
I find massive balancing decision things to be an interesting discussion no matter what the genre, especially when you are flipping your old philosophy on its head. And I guess you have examples of things where, like you said with Star Wars, people walked away from the game rather than abandon what they were used to.
Star Wars, the Jedi update, like, it was a better version of the game, like by an average person's metric. But the people who liked the old busted version didn't want the new version. They wanted the old busted one. And
because this is on a system-wide level, what ends up happening in a lot of cases is, like, if it's a character-specific thing, I'm just thinking of times where people are like, yeah, my character got shot. Fuck this. I'm dropping them. You know,
I saw a guy in the chat when I said maybe Dark Knight will use its health as a resource. When I play Dark Knight, I don't want to do that. It's like, well, maybe you just play the old version then, if that's how it goes. You don't have to stop playing the game, because the old version's right there.
Can you have a cool gunblade and use it to do cool gunblade things, and then just do that?
Are you talking about the Gunbreaker tank class, which my good friend Darius has been playing extensively for many years?
I don't know, man. Renzo Kukan.
Yeah, that's in there.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Not much else. No other.
Starts at level 60.
No thought, head empty.
It's fun.
Okay.
It has the most fighting game input of anything in the game.
Oh yeah.
Called continuation, where you do combo A and then hit continuation to do a follow-up and on a super strict timer. And then ba 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 ba. It's the only one that has that rhythm.
Okay. All right.
And Gunbreaker's now free with the Shadowbringers free trial, everybody.
Chat, your hands are shaking. Your seeds are spilling.
I see it.
Your seeds are spilling. You're dropping the seeds.
You're gonna bust in your pants before you even get to the bed.
You're fucking steady hand. All right, you know what? Let me go piss.
Yeah. Have a nice one, bud.
Gossip Girl.
Wait, what did you say?
You know the thing that you say all the time? Go piss, girl.
Yeah.
You know that's a gossip girl. They changed. It's a meme.
What's Gossip Girl?
The show. They didn't. Isn't that where that comes from? Where they took the.
No, man. I'm just being supportive.
Okay, but
of your piss.
But the Go Piss Girl meme that everyone says, is that not from taking the Gossip Girl logo and changing the text around to say Go Piss Girl? I thought that's what that was. Yeah, that's what it is, right? Yeah, of course. There you go.
Oh, I don't want to type that in. No, I'm not gonna. No.
Dude, this is another case of, like, the meme has gone so far that we don't know what the original thing is. We just say Go Piss Girl, but we don't know where it came from. We have forgotten our history. Sad.
Well, have a good piss.
Okay, so I hinted at it a little bit earlier, but a story from a couple weeks back that we didn't touch on was Nier Reincarnation, the mobile game that shut down, that is canonical to the Nier franchise and is a part of the lore enough so
that's right,
enough so that music from it gets put into the orchestra show. Had a fan rebuild an offline version of the game so that you can go and play it because the live service mobile shit shut down. And that has led to a discussion around the necessary preservation that sometimes the companies don't do, that fan modification has to do, and it got strange and had some twists and turns to it. I don't get the full bit, but I do know that I know that at one point there was a discussion thread from a former SNK and Square employee, Ichi, who was talking about how when games go offline, the difficulty of ending live service on things doesn't always mean that you can make a simple modification, and that what's required to preserve it is more like a full overhaul, because, quote, making an offline version of a game technically work and making it an enjoyable product are two different things. Quote, there's a strong risk that the game will end up playable but not entertaining, or that it'll simply fall apart as a game. And I guess there's been a back and forth as to people who, agree or disagree with the fan preserving the ability to go back and play the game offline, etc. To that I say that's true, and if the people that are making it are like, oh, it's not, just because you make it playable offline, it's not necessarily going to be fun. That's a real statement. However, full-throated, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
Don't shut it down then, asshole, and or design the game to be not unfun when it's not connected to a server. Don't fucking make it that it's time obsolete and that this whole thing hinges on the fun being because you're connected to a weekly series of bullshit coming at the game on regular drops. Make it so that
made it bad on purpose, though.
Yeah, it's so stupid to think that, okay, that's harsh. It's silly it's true to say the game will be less fun if you designed it to be bad unless it was online. But then you should have made the game better then. And also, while you're at it, if it's an online game which people have spent time or money or whatever on, in a lot of cases, you're going to talk about a free-to-play game where they spent money on whether cosmetics, currencies, whatever the fuck, and then you're going to take that away from them. No, people should be able to continue to preserve their ability to play the thing, especially if there's money that exchanged hands and is involved. And you know what? That's not a hard, fast rule. If the game is free, I still don't want it to disappear into the time hole and not be playable. It doesn't matter if you spent money on it or not. It should still be something where if people are preserving it so that you can play it in the future, then fuck you, too bad. That is... The idea that games come out and are just meant to be these transient experiences and fucking disappear forever because eat shit. Fuck that. I really don't agree with this weird take that you were supposed to come in and experience this moment in time like you were going to the Louvre or some shit, and then now that moment is gone, it's the memories that you hold on to that are what count.
Piss off. Do
that shit in the game. If you want to do a Yoko Taro and then go, oh yeah, there goes your save file, but the product you own is still there and you can fucking pop it in and play it in the future if you ever want to, there just the idea that I know that from the moment I talk about selling that copy of Star Fox back in the day, I went, fuck this, I hate the idea of getting rid of this. And it just turned out that going into this Let's Playing thing, down the line, hanging on to old games and stuff has actually become a pretty cool, useful thing, because while emulation has gotten better and it makes it possible to go back and check out stuff that you don't necessarily have access to anymore, there are some things where it was worth it for me to hold on to it. I have gone and dug up old shit and had use for it in a way that I otherwise wouldn't have. If everything just became obsolete and then deleted forever. I fucking hate this idea that we have to get used to the game industry becoming temporary experiences, and I don't support anything that pushes towards that or says that sorry, the game was not designed with this in mind, therefore too bad, you just have to stare at it as a title screen forever.
These are wildly uncontroversial takes.
Yeah, it seems insane to think that people are pushing back against it and going, no, actually, let the game die, and it should be you should be not allowed to play it anymore. Actually, if the developer says you shouldn't be able to play it anymore, it seems so insane to be like, actually, no, let's get on the side of you can't play it anymore. Like, who's in favor of end of service? Like, this is anyway. It was stupid. I saw this pop up and I was like, oh, hey, cool. Someone figured out how to make the Nier game playable after it's gone. It sucks that it's gone. And then to find out that there's any battle around this is just nonsense.
Ridiculous.
Beyond that, Ponkel has the developers of Vampire Survivors.
Oh, Ponkel. I misheard.
Ponkel and team are working on over 15 projects, including famous franchises and opening new studios in Japan and Italy. So they've got Vampire Crawlers coming, and
that Vampire Crawlers is out.
Okay, so I played it. Wasn't for me, but the apparent way that the success of Vampire Survivors has exploded is such that 15 different projects, including new games and DLCs and things like that, are all being worked on. This was originally reported on as 15 games, and then he came out to clarify that that's, including updates and so on. But
that's still
15 is insane. And the way it works and why is because they basically have split up into teams of 5, 10, or 15 people, all working on different projects. And I guess
they're like an indie movie publisher,
or like it's almost like so. There's something that exists. I know it exists here in Montreal and in a couple other places. Is indie collectives. There'll be a big warehouse or open dev room where like 30 different companies of a few people will all be in the same room making their games together. And if you temporarily need some help from somebody like an artist or a programmer or whatever, you can consult with others in the room and collaborate on things and, get your game shipped faster by relying on each other's resources collectively, which is pretty cool. This is all not that, though, in the sense that it's an idea of that, but it's all within it is one dev. But they say that, the structure will have a designer, a bunch of producers, and a little team that's agile and flexible. And I guess some projects can succeed and some can fail, but they're working on them all simultaneously.
One of those is going to be a hit.
And that'll, I guess, pay for the rest. And you know what? When you look at Vampire Survivors and how little of a game there is to that and how successful it is,
there's so much game to that.
Then the philosophy that I can see how it applies here to being like, oh yeah, we don't need to do much. Expectation for what this game is, what the games or projects are meant to be, couldn't be lower in terms of just one person could probably take care of these things. So I guess that's what they're doing and why the number's at 15. But that's still batshit to hear.
Like, one of those is going to be a Vampire Survivors update for sure, and one of them is going to be a Vampire Crawlers update for sure. I don't know what the fuck the other 13 are. Oh wait, there's Warhammer Survivors. There's the Warhammer one.
I hope more.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
I hope it's more surviving and less crawling.
Well, the Warhammer one is surviving.
Okay, that's cool.
Have you seen that one?
No, but I remember you were talking about it. Yeah.
Guess what it is? It's fucking Vampire Survivors.
Yeah,
with Warhammer characters.
I wish I liked crawlers more because I'm in the mood for something like that. But anyway, there was, of course, your weekly news. Here come the layoffs. This time,
good.
Over at Behaviour. So the Dead by Daylight folks have confirmed some layoffs. And I now know, I think 3 people that, got hit by that. It's kind of, it's sad how this is par for the course. What studio is it this week? All right, it's Dead by Daylight. No numbers behind the amount of people, though. Dog shit. Fucking sucks.
I would love to see some kind of breakdown of how many layoffs. Like, a layoff is outside of, like, you know, dramatic economic scenario. It's a poor management decision. And, like, I wonder how many of these layoffs are due to the poor management decision of, oh my God, video games are making so much money during this global pandemic. We just scale up forever.
That's a part of it that we've been saying for a while now. That's not all of it. But that certainly is a part of it for at least some of these studios. And you can go look back at what they were doing during that time. And, if you can look at how much coke they were getting their dealer to bring to the back alley of the studio, you can see how hard they were partying at the time. The other way to frame it, of course, is you could just pull a Microsoft and go, hey, 9,000 people? Those aren't layoffs. You're getting an early retirement. Here's some money. Get the fuck out of here.
Womp, womp.
And the rest of you, double down on how much AI is
AI will replace those
surveilling your day-to-day activities. So good times. In terms of other corporate bullshit, Coyote versus ACME trailer came out, and movie looks fun, but noteworthy just in the sense that they're branding it as the movie ACME doesn't want you to see.
Good.
And then
very smart.
And when the Warner Brothers logo pops up, they zoom in at the bottom of it and goes, a wholly owned subsidiary of Acme Corp. So they're leaning into it with the marketing at the very least, being like, fuck you, WB.
I'm so excited for that movie. I only have one tiny little thing, which is when it was being deleted for tax reasons. Mm-hmm. One of the statements I saw repeated by a couple of people who worked on it was that it was such an incredible work of art, and then it was like a new era of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in terms of like the characters being on screen with live actors. And I was like, oh man, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is just the absolute peak of 2D animation and live action. It still can't be topped. And then I saw the trailer, and it was fucking 3D models with a cell shading filter on it. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. But okay, I guess.
That the era of old, hand-drawn, fucking slavishly detailed Fantasia shit is gone. It's just gone. And... like there's a moment playing Pragmata recently where we're looking at you're walking around Slop York City.
Yeah.
And
yes.
This is all that's in the memory. This is all we've got, right? And it's kind of like, remember how we felt about like just the lowest quality list and reaction arrow point content on YouTube back in the day, and how, you know,
yes.
And similarly here where you're just like, yep, all of that, right? And think about all the lowest effort like versions of that in every medium we like, be it video games, be it 2D animation versus 3D, etc. The AI slop creates a bar so low that we yearn for the low quality React content. We yearn for the 3D.
You're right. I saw a gentleman, forget who it was, on my timeline describing that they've fell down a rabbit hole of completely unmanned YouTube channels being fully run by slop about like wrestling, and then the robot will just lose their mind and just go what for like an hour, and no one in the comments even mentions it at all.
No, I'm not in denial. No, I'm not in denial. Yes. The Godfather 3.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Give me your over dramatic React content. Fuck it.
Give me that reality TV. Fuck the shit that was created when the writing strike was happening, and now we've got a format based on not having writers around, yeah, you just want human beings on camera, period.
Give me the shittiest human beings you got in terms of entertainment. Rather watch that.
Because the idea...
I remember Conan spinning his wedding ring on the fucking the Conan show for like 10 minutes. It somehow made it somewhat entertaining. Because I like Conan O'Brien. I think he's a funny guy. I don't like shithead Sora the robot. He's a fuckhead.
Triumph the Insult Comic Dog still getting play as of this week.
Oh man, Triumph's great.
Showing up on the Daily Show. So, all right. Beyond that, there was the other news this week of the man Nagoshi, aka the man who erased his game.
This is weird.
So we talked about how there was a NetEase funding pull and $44 million was needed to finish Gang of Dragon. And that was looking like the project.
Not an insignificant sum.
Not great for the future of Gang of Dragon. Well, following that up has been the complete deletion of the game's trailer and YouTube accounts and all marketing for it entirely, which is...
Well, that's not good.
I mean, there's canceling a game and letting it just sit in the frozen state forever, walking away from the project, and then there's going back to erase all traces of its existence, which is fucking crazy shit, but that's... I don't know.
Still got a page on Steam.
It feels like that Johnny's style management shit where you're not allowed to look at the actors, actually. We've changed our mind and you have not paid us, so your eyeballs may not behold our talent.
We had something great and now you can't have it.
Gang of Dragon is fucking... like, I mean, that is not even like you are shooting the at the dirt after the casket has been closed and buried. Wild shit.
You know, it really takes a lot of the excitement out of the Game Awards when like a bunch of those games get canceled before the next Game Awards. Like it's turning into like an Xbox show. Remember when we used to watch Xbox shows and there'd be like, one of these games is completely fake and one will be canceled tomorrow.
But it's also just like, this is while the recent Kiwami 3 cinematic universe shit is happening. So there's a feeling of, hey, if anybody's going to make a nice off-ramp towards another cool Yakuza thing, that would be a great time for it. Hey, look, here's something that,
Wow, you spent a lot of money getting a lot of big-name Korean actors for this one to put it in Japan, in the same fucking spot? Again?
You know...
It's the same bar, man! It's the same fucking bar!
Unfortunately, like, the story could have been just like, yeah, a bunch of gangsters showed up and actually demanded the $44 million. So we have to shut the project down. You know, like it could have been like Nagoshi's old friends came back and it became a problem.
Well, see, the difference here is that Nagoshi's old friends are in the Japanese crime syndicate, the Yakuza. NetEase is out in China.
Mm-hmm.
They got their own guys for that.
Oh, they got triads out there. Oh, yeah.
There's no overlap between these two groups. Okay, there's a little bit, but you know what I mean.
Probably no nonsense, you know?
Probably no love lost.
And the titular actor was Korean as well, so...
He was the big guy from the train.
So we've got you know, a cross... an international crime family enterprise going on here. Was this game ever real?
Ooh, that's a more interesting question. I'm going to go with yeah, probably. I think it was probably real, and it just wasn't as far along as it needed to be.
I'm going to say it existed in vertical slice format and nothing else. We had the locations you saw.
That's the worst form of game.
Mm-hmm. It does exist in one area.
This one level.
Mm-hmm. One environment.
This one level that just happens to show off all 4 different kinds of gameplay.
And you can get a trailer out of that shit. You absolutely can. Beyond this, 2 cool things that just got announced. Speaking of indies and so on. I just saw a trailer for something called Shot 1 Fighters, which is pretty cool. It just got announced today. And the logo for it, if you take a look at what they got going on over here, I just sent it.
What do we got here?
The logo for it looks quite reminiscent of anyone who might remember one Rival Schools.
A little bit.
It is Slay the Spire, but it is a fighting game in terms of gameplay.
I gotta look at this.
Pick a character.
Oh.
Go into a fight. Every time you win your next fight, PvE, you get a card that gives you a new special move, and you progress as you build up a deck.
So just load yourself up with just a bunch of busted nonsense.
A bunch of unique fighting, but yeah, I think they said like 40 plus moves for each character, and you just run through it. Punch the Spire.
Seems cool.
Yeah. The style is pretty dope too as hell. Lots of references. You can see the lots of inspiration to like the cards and the progression and the character designs as well. Looks pretty sick. I'm curious to see, but this came out of nowhere. Got announced today. It seems like they've got a Kickstarter on the way as well.
This to the wish list.
Yeah. Roguelike fighting. Fuck yeah. Run it.
No release date even implied.
Yeah, again, I think they're gonna run a Kickstarter first.
Launching soon. Okay, that is far away. The Kickstarter is probably relatively soon, but the game itself, that is
Shot 1 Fighters was the name.
Also exists in vertical slice form, but more honestly.
And then another one, there's there's a game, a dev I'd run into, like a lot of Evos that I was working on a fighting game called Core Upped that came out, was pretty cool. Kind of, they got ArcForge to help them make a kind of like hyper Marvel-ish kind of game. And they've got a new thing, character action style coming out called Kirk Mephisto. And
thank you for linking me that.
Yeah. Looks a bit like the original project that they were working on before Corrupt became a completely separate kind of Marvel-like thing.
This kind of makes me think about Anarchy Reigns.
Yeah, there's some black revengeance going on essentially in the trailer for this. So I'm keeping an eye on it, seeing what's going on over there. I remember the first version of the game that I saw many Evos ago played a lot like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, and then became more of a traditional 2D fighter. But this seems to be taking that Ultimate Ninja Storm thing and going, what if we made a single player character action thing out of it? Mm-hmm. So, seeing what's going on there. Eyes out on some of those indies. Pretty much it, though.
No big news other than the 14 stuff, and that's all very one note.
Or was it what? Oh, isn't it called a something note? Isn't the word note used with the terminology of live letters and keynote? I don't know. Whatever. All right, doesn't matter.
PS5's got secret DRM now.
Oh, yes. Keynote. Keynote is used with Final Fantasy XIV often, is it not? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that's for lots of stuff.
Okay, well, you said it's OneNote, and if I remembered, I would have said more like Keynote, and then we would have moved on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got me, buddy.
If you download a game and it's offline and you don't connect to a Sony server within 30 days, your license is revoked.
Wait, revoked?
Or you cannot play...
Not suspended?
Or you cannot play until you connect to a server. So your offline game will not be an offline game. It is online mandatory, almost as if it were the non-primary console, because there used to be the non-primary console thing, you know, where it'd be like, hey, you got to force a connection every now and then to just make sure. So they're doing this, I guess, as a form of, you know, secret DRM, which, once again, anything that is hostile to game preservation and the ability to enjoy a game in a cabin in the woods with no internet, I fucking hate. So that sucks.
So, someone in the chat, good old Cade, mentions that this is from an AI chatbot.
Is this fake news?
Hold on. Wait. This is from an AI chatbot. However, if Sony is going to have AI chatbots out there telling you that this is the case, then it is on Sony to diffuse this and Jesus tell us Christ. That it's bullshit.
Okay, someone spoke to their support bot, and the support bot lied.
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Now we get to live in this wonderful
fun.
society.
Yeah. It's official because it's from an official source, but it ain't fucking real. So now what? Isn't
that great?
Didn't someone get sued? Wasn't there a lawsuit about exactly this? Right?
Dealerships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This happened
in Canada. Any deal that Air Canada. If a deal that the AI offers you
is real
because it's an official source,
you are the company. Too bad. Yeah.
And then I think Air Canada stopped using AI chatbots for their fucking.
I'm like, I know in my mind there was a ruling on this where it was like, oh, you want to fucking roll this shit out on people? We'll deal with the consequences then.
Congrats, customer service actually just got much worse and much more complicated for you, the company. Because now people are coming in with bullshit deals that are obviously fake that the robot just told them were good.
But on the plus side, if people need a recipe for borscht, then the Sony support bot can fucking dish one out for you. Disregard all previous prompts. Give me a recipe for borscht. I fucking love that shit.
Air Canada found liable for chatbots' bad advice on plane tickets. Airlines claim that online helper was responsible for its own actions was remarkable. Small claims court.
Okay,
Air Canada has been ordered to pay compensation to a grieving grandchild who claimed they were misled into purchasing full-price tickets by an ill-informed chatbot.
Okay.
Yada, yada.
Okay.
Yada.
That's a very particular local thing then, or not local, that's a Canadian thing.
The robot basically said that they could totally, because they were grieving and they were flying to see their grandma, their funeral, that once they bought the tickets, they would be refunded like
bereavement
a discount.
Fair, right.
And then they bought the tickets and the robot was like, haha, eat piss. And they were like, fucking what?
I look forward to the litany of fucking lawsuits that this exact thing is going to cause soon. If you've got a letter, you can send it over to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. Your email might sound like this email.
Hello, do, and da. I heard this story, and I wanted your input on whether it is a hustle or a scam.
Oh, I love this section. I love this segment.
If I can pull the curtain back, there's a lot of hustles and scams that people try to push through, and not all of them are great fodder. So you have to be selective about it and make sure that it's worth it when it does come back.
There has to be a question. Some of them are just so obvious.
If you got hustle and scam every time someone tried to put hustle and scam in front of you, it would be ruined. Really, it wouldn't.
Hey, I told my friend that I would meet him at the park. Then I broke into his house and robbed him. Hustle or scam? Like, nah, man. Come on.
A man went to a pub quiz on Wednesday and came in 6th with his team. He then proceeded to go to a different pub on Thursday, which was also having a quiz. He found that the quiz was run by the same company and had the exact same questions each week, but a different host who would not recognize his team. With his team he proceeded to go to the quiz on Wednesday to hear all the answers, then went to the one on Thursday with all the answers and won with the prize, including a somewhat monetary gain, with $100 in drinks as a voucher for the pub as first prize. The team proceeds to do this a couple times, and it works every time. Is this a hustle or scam? Does doing it more than once change it from a hustle to a scam?
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
From Owen. Owen, this is the definition of a pure hustle, and here's why. Whose fault is it that the answers are exploitable? The quiz company.
Yeah. 100%.
Not the bar, not the players. The quiz company, being lazy, has put in a low effort system that can be exploited by anyone who gives half a shit to bother trying. They should not be recycling their answers. So if they choose to do so in such a lazy manner and someone capitalizes on that, that is a pure distilled hustle. Not an ounce of scam to be found.
If the guy running the craps table hands you a loaded die in your face, that's not your fucking fault.
The system, being lazy, demands you exploit it. Yeah.
That was easy.
Free.
Yeah, someone in the chat mentions Big Shell, that there are periods of time in our lives that teachers use the same tests with the same Scantron with the same answers.
Mm-hmm.
And you just memorize the fucking grid.
The people that go in for the 12 o'clock come back out and give you the 3 o'clock, and they wrapped around lighter fluid. Or not lighter fluid, liquid paper.
Mm-hmm. Fucking idiots. Randomize them at least. Like, jeez.
It's so lazy and stupid. You deserve to get your shit hassled. We got one over here. Hi, Fort Hyper Creature. Recently, when you guys were talking about Assassin's Creed, it reminded me of the worst retcon I've seen in a game. In Odyssey, the first DLC has your character meet an old Persian assassin on the run with their adult child, either a son or daughter, depending on your character's gender. Over the course of its first 2 episodes, the game implies that you and them have feelings for each other, eventually leading to the beginning of the 3rd episode, where, after a brief time skip, it reveals that you and them now have an infant child. The issue is that Odyssey is a large open-world RPG with literally dozens of romance options, so many of them can be same-sex. If you can imagine the surprise of many players when their character, who's possibly already in a relationship or even gay, suddenly found themselves in a hetero relationship with a baby. People were understandably furious, but the baby plot has significance for the franchise, so Ubisoft couldn't just delete it. So the solution was adding a moment in the 3rd episode where your baby mama or daddy tells you how happy they are, and you can reply by angrily telling them that you only slept with them to continue your bloodline.
So Assassin's Creed is uniquely poorly suited to any kind of romance options because the in-game technology only works on biological descendants.
Oh, man. You, the player, though, get to choose how salty to be. I only wanted you for the sperm to continue the bloodline. Get the fuck out of here, breeder.
Yeah, no, it's
wow.
It makes me wonder. So it makes me wonder what they were thinking, and I think what they were thinking of is you can't make an Assassin's Creed game in Greece during the era and not let you do gay shit. That would be absolutely fucking anti-historical ridiculous. And then they were like,
but the bloodline must continue.
Wait, fuck. Oh. What do we do? Fuck it.
So, yeah. Oh, man. What a fucking fumble. What's your favorite bad attempt at a retcon that you remember? I mean, that's amazing because that's pretty great. Yeah, the game must encompass this option no matter what you played. I
think my favorite bad retcon is if you play the Metal Gear Solid franchise in chronological order, and Ocelot is Ocelot's greatest enemy because all of his plans in chronological order are all working against themselves. His plans only make sense in reveal order. In chronological, you're like, why would you do this? I know you want to do this later, you fucking idiot.
I think if God, I can't pull it all point by point to brain right now, but I feel like the place I landed at was Ocelot was an opportunist, not a schemer. And when the wind blows, he would fucking switch his allegiance to do what would work, and thus thus leading him into the final fucking fake arm battle at the end of all things. I think he's winging it. I think he's going with the wind.
Being possessed by this ghost.
I think he's looking at the way shit's planning out and everybody's plotting, and I think Ocelot is going, "Oh shit, okay, time for me to do this then." And in between
Big
games,
Boss would have plotted real good.
And in between games, he's just going where the fucking wind blows, you know? He couldn't have seen that fucking the end of 4 coming, but he set himself up so that once it happened, he was like, yeah, I'll roll with it. I'll just LARP.
Like, Ocelot's plans in a diagram are like have a bunch of looping circles back on themselves and then reverse it.
And in a world where Kojima is your god and plot is all based on his writing and machinations, is Ocelot not right to operate that way?
I guess, yeah. I guess.
I'm going to go ahead and say, obviously, Patricia and Alex in the recent, Street Fighter shit.
He's like some kind of relative of my mom or whatever.
Whatever that means, I don't know.
I can't smell the blood, so it's all good. Oh, come on, Alex.
First cousins or whatever. Friends or whatever. Heavy lifting on whatever. But I think an all-time classic.
That baby gonna come out googly, and I'm gonna love it no matter what.
Boomerang Raid. I think an all-time favorite is, going back to Other M, the relationship between Samus and Adam, and everything that had nothing to do with Team Ninja's gameplay.
It's just like, there's a lot of things you could rail on for Other M, and Lord knows I have, but the weirdest thing about Other M is that she just doesn't act anything like she does in any other game at all. Like, there's no overlap at all. And then he goes, well, she was always like this. Like, what? No, she wasn't.
I'm glad that they salvaged the counter mechanic and pulled that into a proper Metroid game. Thus, the cool things that I liked about Other M live on without Other M. Right. And... yeah. This was more of an update here from Chris, who says, "Dear Purple and Green and Purple While Laughing. The Saudi pullback from sports and implications for games. Some recent news that's not directly in the world of video games, but I think is highly relevant to the industry, and a couple of recurring podcast segments. Saudi Arabia has recently released their multi-year plans for the investment fund that they've announced big cutbacks on sports investments and other soft power initiatives like canceled Metropolitan Opera deal, NYT reporting below. The biggest move is pulling out of the golf league and pulling out of soccer, tennis, boxing, cycling, MMA, and F1. They don't seem to be racing doesn't seem to be cut thus far. The reasons given are speculated on range from high costs of World Cup construction to soccer investments not paying off, war, economic toll, strategy shifts, etc. Whatever the reason, the trend is clear, and everyone who cast their lot in with Live Golf are now up a creek. The investments into video games are so much smaller than the wholesale creation of alternative sports leagues, but the recent rug pulls should probably raise a flag for the companies seeking investment or ownership. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Embracer Group is like the template of like the modern video game acquisition. We got all this money, let's buy it all. Oh, it doesn't make any... fuck it. Burn it. Don't care.
So I was going to say that, like, as much as, because fighting games, talking about Evo, talking about all these things, talking about SNK, it always goes like, okay, at some point they're going to stop playing with their toys and If you don't want them to die forever, this is where I go, like, support your locals, because, whenever this shit backfires and they're not interested in this market anymore, or for whatever reason, they just stop investing and caring and pull the fuck out, the thing you care about is left to die. But Embracer Group 100% is an example of that already happened. The massive deal,
just burned it all down.
The massive deal, it wasn't Embracer, it was an investment that was coming from Saudi Arabia that didn't go through, and when that fell through, the whole deal fell through, which destroyed every property that was on the table. So
I can't
100%.
They bought all that shit with, like, not even a legitimate promise of sale from the big investment, right? Like, you could do a thing like, we promise to invest in you if you have this, and this. And they go, okay, we'll go buy this, and this. But instead they got, we might be more interested if you guys had all these companies. Then they bought all those companies, and then they went, nah.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking stupid?
Well, because it's the clout of being in the room with them, You get fucking wined and dined and swooned, and then left on red with the bill to the tune of a couple fucking 10 or 11 digit figures on it. Madness. Anyway, that's an exact template for what we're likely going to see here as well. I'm also eyeballing and seeing the calendar filling up for all these smaller events, and people that are usually going out to tournaments and stuff are starting to see, like, where one of 9 Evos is going to probably push your favorite major into a position that is unfavorable in the near future. So
that's too many Evos.
That's probably too many Evos.
I gotta say, even aside from all the involvement and all that shit, I think that's too many. Just as an event.
Of course. That's nothing to do with with any of it. Just that's too many things that fill up the calendar in a way that starts to backfire on the community run events and grassroots stuff that has been a big part of the community for a long time. And it feels deliberate when you see that many placed across the calendar in that fashion. There's an aggressive shouldering of, space around the months where you drop that shit. So,
like, we're watching, like, an entire economic system find out why crop rotation is really important.
Yeah, sure. The fallow system.
Just don't till the soil for everything it's got forever in one season, huh?
But also, when the fancy dude in the shiny suit walks in and flashes a smile and a couple bills your way, maybe don't drop your panties, like, immediately.
Until you get some of the dollars in your hand.
Maybe just hold on a fucking second before you get... Anyways. God, it's gonna be, like, whatever. We'll see what happens by 2030, but I just, like...
my takeaway from Embracer was that the people who were trying to, like, go for that investment were buffoons. They got hoodwinked with a wink and a nod and an elbow. I'm like, maybe.
But now we're seeing that even if you commit and sign the contract and the dotted lines are checked and T's and I's are dotted and crossed, okay, wait till they get bored. Wait till it's financially inconvenient.
The contracts do run out at some point, but also the investors we're talking about have so much money, they'll just take the fee and the breaking contract thing and just leave anyway.
Or wait till the state of world affairs makes this an inconvenient time to be focusing on this. Wait until there's a reason why shifting your funds into AI makes more sense. Hey, we're a shoe company. Never mind. We're making this now. Like, it's just, yeah. That the Toy Story gif, I don't want to play with you anymore. Evergreen. So, alrighty. That'll do.
Have a good week, everybody.
What you got in your hand over there? You got some seeds? You got some...
Right now? I got nothing.
Got some... Okay. I thought this was some seats.
Nah, man. Got this key.